We interrupt this live broadcast to bring you Alan eating his dinner. Any moment now,
I will be going missing for 5 minutes.
Presented with his dinner. You missed.
Alan eats dinner when he wants. He doesn't care if he's on a street.
He eats when he wants. He eats when he wants.
With my stomach,
he eats
with
what
my
he
stomach,
wants.
I eat what I want.
What have you got, Alan?
Before you joined us backstage, Alan had a little peer around the door and he went, "When's that dinner coming?" And she went, "That was it." Well, you get it when you're giving it, Alan.
Yeah. Which is about.
He's going to walk in a minute and just throw it at him, and he's going to go all about him.
It's good for the viewers, Alan. It's good for the viewers.
There's your fucking dinner.
Yeah,
There's your dinner. Put it over your head,
Alan.
I'm honoured. I've got a piss off from Bob in the chat. First one, get in there, my son.
All right, Alan. Don't
Alan, we've told you to piss off loads of times.
Yeah,
you never got excited about them.
Yeah, but I'm used to you doing it. It's like the sunshine. You know, it comes out. You tell me to piss off. You know?
Alan, would you like to educate Sophie as to who's upset you?
Right, Sophie. If you weren't upset after watching that game last night, then sorry. But how the fuck can that game be? Sorry, I know it ain't 10 minutes.
10 minutes in now. Well done.
No, I already smashed that. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Richard Keys it.
But how the hell that game wasn't bent last night? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was in bed with who?
Christensen under hit pass. Mendy.
All right, Al. All right, Al. We'll get to it. We'll get it when we do the game.
No.
Calm down.
Well, he's hungry. He's got to get it out.
You're going to turn into the fucking Hulk in a minute. Jesus.
Mendy. I mean, what was that effort? Where was his hands when the ball went past him for the second? The third one. Why don't put it on a plate again? And Aspilicueta, well, why don't you just fuck him in the penalty area?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the game review of Chelsea Arsenal.
Al's rant. We don't need Raz's rant.
Sorry, but
that was anger.
Basically, what we do need to be sort of commemorate this occasion, because this is actually Alan's last show on Chef's Life Spurs show, because Sky are hiring him for his nuanced outlook on playing analysis.
I did laugh. I saw a meme yesterday, Rez. It was on about Easter. It's like, Jesus has come back for Easter. It's his job. It's his job. Like the Roy Keane one. What do you mean he's come back for Easter? It's his job.
In case anyone's watching from the council, Alan is not working for Sky. In case things gets cut, and he won't be able to have anyone.
Don't cut off his ESA. No, he's not actually working for Sky. That's what's known as sarcasm.
Yeah, but I am looking forward to watching Alan in G.I. Jane 3.
And then, Bobby, we were just talking about you backstage, Bobby. We'll get Nick to fill you in.
Yeah,
later we've got some ideas for you.
I shall see you. I shall see you soon, people.
Oh, we want the delivery to take place.
You want the delivery? Hold on a minute. Come on.
Can you tell the viewers or show the viewers what you?
Here we go.
Bam.
This is your life.
No.
What is it?
Well,
this is your wife.
I've been told by the daughter that we're having fish and chips. So that's it. Fish and chips. Catch you soon.
We've got fish and chips. That's a bit of a bonus.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even Friday.
I know. See you soon.
Enjoy.
Turn your mic off, please.
No, don't. We want to watch punching noises.
I'll be back.
I don't know what's worse, listening to you eat or listening to you bash one out after Bobby telling you to piss off, Alan.
So you've experienced both, Nick.
Sorry?
You've experienced both.
No, but I think we're just going to experience conviction. Well, shit. Bobby's flipping that again. Fuck's sake. Oh, dear.
God.
A night by any other name, Richard. Hello, Richard.
Yes.
Hello, Richard.
Richard. This will get Alan creaming in his pants as well. We've got our first ever.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Steak.
Absolutely.
No, he can't afford steak.
No, fish and chips, just Savaloy. Oi, oi, Savaloy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I made a pig brain.
What, Savaloy?
Huh?
Apparently, yeah. That's
it?
what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah.
Don't read, listen to like the Truman Show, Bobby, but with Mrs. Al just walking around.
That would be brilliant. That would be absolutely brilliant.
5 minutes in and you have a Ranjit clip already.
Sake.
Oh dear. How is everyone in the chat and the broader spectrum of my colleagues sitting around me to the there and there of me?
Yeah. I'm okay. I had to.
Jokers are down here. I
had to rescue one of Laura's friends who had a hornet in her living room. Unfortunately, I was on the phone to Bobby Kay at the time, and because it was on WhatsApp, it cut out, and he thought I said that I'm going to see Laura's friend who's horny in her living room.
She's got the horn.
Yeah, closely followed by, why doesn't my wife have friends like this? Closely followed by little Kay looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about, Dad?
That's a mind fuck, that is.
Yeah. But just to confirm, the hornet is dead. I did kill
Who is that? Which friend?
We're rubbing off on the entire Spurs streaming community. Just they're becoming more and more warped by the hour.
Yeah.
You know? You should have seen Mari's Love Lounge last night. It was mental.
Well, I know it's not called Mari's Love Lounge anymore, isn't it? Isn't it called Mari's Spurs Channel or something?
Yes. No, it's actually called Rez's Lech Hub now.
Oh, Lech Hub.
Go back and watch. You'll understand.
Oh, I know why, because there was Emma Raducanu pictures on there, and you all. Yeah.
Not me. I'm fairly indifferent to her, to be honest.
You know, speaking of her, there's a lot. We've got a lot of Romanian friends. I think her mum or dad is a Romanian, isn't it? Emma Raducanu. It's probably her dad looking at the name. So we've got, because of Ili Dimitrescu and Georgie Popescu, we've got a lot of Romanian fans. Yeah, we have, because a couple of Romanians play for my football team, and they all support Tottenham because of Ili Dimitrescu and George Popescu. So,
excellent, fantastic.
Yes,
and it's also Romanian Easter, Orthodox Easter this weekend. So
well, also as Cody so rightly says, on this day in history, the Queen was born 96 years ago.
Correct.
I thought that was going to be like a tribute to her there, Cody. I didn't see the end part until I just put it up on the screen. So, she's 96 and far too old to be getting involved in. Although she was pictured today between two Shetland ponies.
So what she might doing with those ponies?
Yeah.
I guess it's better than getting one of the family members allegedly paying off people that they don't remember doing things with. So I suppose the Shetland.
But funnily enough, I've been funny you say that, Nick. I've been doing a podcast, like a video for work, and it was about the Queen. And one of the questions was along the lines of, what would you ask the Queen if you could buy the Queen a present? What would it be? And one of the blokes said, I'd grant her the wish to get rid of one of her two errant sons. And I said, if you could ask the Queen any question, and it was like, which one of the two do you want to get rid of first? Oh dear.
And there was also a controversial post that I saw, which was, "Happy birthday, Your Majesty." Post to start. "Family full of nonces and murderers that continue to provide a massive divide between rich and poor." Allegedly.
Off with his head. Off with
Harry's head. So if you don't see me, you know where I am. So
you saw a controversial tweet as you were typing it out. Yeah.
I didn't type it out. I robbed that. I'm absolutely not intelligent enough to put those words together.
Please.
You know, they say out of the mouths of babes, they come out with the most amazing stuff. So one of the kids today, I think they're about 6 or 7, and so the question was, if you could ask the Queen any question, what would it be? And they said, would you still want to be Queen, or something like that? And I thought, what a brilliant question for a 6-year-old to pop into their head. Do you actually want to be Queen, basically? Or would you rather just sit in your garden playing with your dogs and your horses? She probably would.
Who knows? And then someone else piped up and said,
if we get 500 subscribers,
that's what we'll do.
Barry will be beheaded.
We'll behead Barry live.
Did someone else ask a question? Oh, I'd like to quite ask the Queen how much she paid for that meal at Pizza Express in Woking.
Do you know?
Oh shit! I'm going all in tonight.
The Queen only ever has about £5 in cash with her.
Okay.
Ever. She doesn't.
That was one of the other questions actually, Rez. I asked the kids how much money has the Queen got in the bank, and hilarity did ensue. We got lots of funny answers.
In the bank, she's I believe Her Majesty is still the richest woman in the world. She certainly was. Whether she still is, but I think if she's not the richest woman in the world, then Her Majesty is probably the richest woman in the United Kingdom.
Surely,
but the weird thing about that is that it's not. It's sort of only semi-personal wealth, because it ultimately belongs to the crown. The Queen does have some of her own money too, in terms of the family, but a large proportion of the Queen's wealth is actually owned by the crown. So it's not even a case of this is mine, I will now give it to you. It's like the crown has it, and as the reigning monarch, she can utilize that. But constitutional convention means that she doesn't actually make much in the way of decisions herself when it comes to spending, either personal or for buildings and stuff like that. It's all done by the Crown Commissioners. It's quite interesting.
I think the amount of money they make in trade and industry and tourism and stuff, that's about 3 times the amount it costs us to look after them, isn't it? If that's the polite way of putting it. I think the money they take out of the treasury to the amount of money they bring in is a lot. And have you seen those posters on the tube, Res? Trying to write this advertising in Tower of London. So it's like basically it's the crown seen by millions, worn by one. It's quite a good poster.
It is. I mean, the history of the British monarchy is absolutely fascinating. It really is. It's in terms of history and sort of understanding how we got to the country that we have now. Absolutely invaluable if you want to sort of understand the culture of this country and some of the conventions that we have. It's like, so I don't know if you guys have ever, if you you probably don't wear waistcoats regularly, but the convention of leaving the bottom.
How dare you, Rez? How dare you judge me for non-waistcoat wearing?
Rez, I like your waistcoat, mate.
I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying what.
No, you just say we probably don't. You're judging us, Rez. How dare you?
Yes, I am, Nick. I am. You're just uncouth and common, and you wouldn't be seen dead near a waistcoat.
But
now?
You are correct. I do not own a waistcoat.
But I don't know if you're aware, but the convention is to leave the bottom button.
Yeah, button up. Yeah.
That I believe is from Edward VII, who was enormously fat, and he would always undo the bottom button of his waistcoat because of his belly.
Yeah.
And then everyone started doing it too, to sort of follow the king's fashion, and it then became the convention to leave your bottom waistcoat button undone, regardless of whether or not it was tight or not.
Awesome. I didn't even know until I started doing these podcasts about the Queen that I'm doing for work that her father only became king because his brother abdicated.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I've looked into it. Yeah, looked into a lot of it. Yeah, as to why he abdicated.
I'll tell you why. Edward VIII, or he wasn't Edward VIII at the time, but Edward VIII was the son of George V, and was the heir to the throne. He fell in love with an American called Wallis Simpson. The problem with Wallis Simpson is that she'd been married twice before and had divorced, and the Church of England, or basically the Archbishop and the sort of establishment, turned around and said, you cannot marry a divorcee at all. And they essentially said to him, your choice, Crown or Simpson, one or the other. You can't have both. And he plumped to marry Wallis Simpson, and he gave up his right. He abdicated. He was he was never crowned, but George V died and he became king because that's what happened. But he never got to have a coronation because they presented him with that choice at that point, and he chose Wallace Simpson. So he abdicated his throne before he was crowned, and then George VI, the Queen's father, became king. And his name wasn't even George; his name was Albert. But when he took the throne,
Prince Albert,
he chose the regnal name George in order to have that continuity from his father George V. So he became George V to George VI, so that there was no, that ruction of the king abdicating, Edward VIII abdicating, was sort of eased a little bit.
Do you want to do my podcast, Rez?
Listen, it's brilliant. I love it all. I really do. I mean,
it'd be great on it. I'll have to get you on my podcast. I can't believe I didn't ask you.
I'm happy to, man.
Yes, funnily enough, Mark, on the comments there, that was another one of the funny comments the kids come out of today. I said, how much money is the Queen? So they were like, she owns it all because her face is on it. We'll have to get that verified by Kim. Bob, we don't believe you.
If you could.
And we'll take her word for it. We don't need pictorial evidence of Bob in nothing but a waistcoat, just to clarify.
Yeah, because Cody.
Yes, we never thought about going on the chase.
Cody will just clip it. I did actually consider going on the chase a few years back.
Should.
It's just a. Do you know? Apparently, the application form. A friend of mine also applied a few years back. The application form is 30 pages long. It's huge.
Was it a quiz, or do you have to tie your shoelace around your shoe and see if you can lob it over a roof?
No idea. I never saw it myself, but it's like he said, yes, that 30 pages long. It's just like I started preparing for it, just testing myself, testing my general knowledge and stuff, and then it's just like other things got in the way, and it's all like fell by the wayside. So.
Barry,
yes. How is the bromance going? Well, that was the highlights of Saturday. Saturday. That was Saturday. The game. Yeah, that was the highlight of Saturday. Maybe not for everyone, but personally for me, I got to spend a lot of time with Danny.
Wasn't he late as well? Did you have butterflies in your stomach? Were you worried whether he's going to turn up or not?
No, so I didn't get to. I didn't get to see him beforehand. Oh no, hang on a minute. Where did I see him?
Hang on a minute.
I saw him at the coffee shop. Sorry. Yeah. So when he was late, there was a little bit of a worry, thinking he wasn't going to turn up.
He texted me 18 times in the car. Are you here yet?
No, I fucking didn't. It was 32. 32, Rez. I told you.
I was being nice.
But yes, Rez sorry, I had a bit of a mind blank then because Rez just blew it with his history knowledge. I didn't know where I was. But no, Rez picked Danny up for me kindly. Didn't tie him up like I asked him to, or put him in the boot of his car.
I wanted to say that as you.
You know, so I had a morning with him. I had an afternoon and an early evening with him. It was great fun. So I mean, maybe not fun for him, but it was fun for me. All the same, you know.
You've got yours.
As a civil servant, I'm not sure if you're able to have a theory about that or not. Are you?
It depends on what type of tunnel you're talking about.
Parisian tunnels.
I generally tend to keep myself, away from discussions of that nature. Really,
that you might not want to answer this one either. Then.
Well, no, that's a matter of historical record. There was certainly a relationship. Or a sort of not a friendship, but an acquaintance between Edward and Hitler. They did visit before, but the thing you've got to bear in mind with that is that when the Nazis actually came to power, they came to power in 1933. The Second World War didn't start for another 6 years after that, and Germany was in an awful state economically at the time that the Nazis took power. That's the reason they were able to take power, was because they exploited that. And what they then did is they started doing all these things that were in the long term economically unsound, but at the time had results. And so Hitler and the Nazi regime was being lauded around the world as the saviors of Germany and all of this stuff before what their politics were always on show. You know, Mein Kampf was written in the 1920s, in which Hitler laid out precisely the stuff that he wanted to do, both in terms of invading the rest of Eastern Europe and his attitude towards the Jews and other ethnic minorities. But they ignored that because they thought he's a statesman. Everyone thought they could control what he would do, and so they would laud him, hoping that they could take advantage. And then we got one of the most horrific periods in human history occur instead. You know, so congratulations to all those politicians who thought that they were doing the right thing. Well done, you.
So you agree that we should go and take down the World Economic Forum just to stop a repeat of history?
That I'm not going to comment on.
You're not allowed to comment on that, are you?
Oh, he's back. Thank God Al's back. If I can take the piss out of him now. Jesus.
Is Danny on about this Albert fella? Or this Al fella?
I don't think it's anything to do with...
Alan, would you like to take this comment? Have you got your bell end pierced?
Yeah.
No.
Mrs. Allen, come in and just re-verify this for Mrs. Al. Mrs. Al, put the sausage away and come and verify us.
Alan's having a battered sausage later. Oh, sorry. Not Alan, obviously.
We're just dealing with Bob Spur's fan mail here. The invoice is in the post for the administration fees.
Yeah.
Bob Spur.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll must be behind because I'm missing something.
List later.
We've been talking about the Queen and the monarchy, Al.
Yeah, I listened to that bit. I was listening to that.
Oh, shit.
I'm just messages.
Jesus. Did you hear all of it, Al? Because we were saying some stuff you might not want to listen to.
Have you got any thoughts on the monarchy,
Al? Put it this way. No, I've got no comment. No comment. Put it this way, Bal. If you were seen, I think you would be losing your head. After I heard it all, sir, and I've kept it all. You know, taped it all when I'm sending it off.
All right, well, good luck at the North London Derby, getting up them fucking stairs, eh?
Yeah. Yes, that's probably true. That's probably true. Well, you would just see the camera sort of like glaze over and then go blank. You know, like, and then.
Sorry, what? I was in a moment there. Someone said Danny was horny on his couch. Sorry. I just...
You're in heaven.
Oh, dear.
Who's Oswald Mosley? Would you like to educate the viewers on who you had to comment on that?
Yes. Oswald Mosley was I believe he was an aristocrat who was the leader of the British Black Shirts, who was basically the British equivalent of the Nazi Party, and had his arse handed to him in the early 30s at somewhere called the Battle of Cable Street, where basically huge numbers of Londoners, specifically Jewish ones, all came together and said, you can take your fucking Nazism and piss off. And it was hilarious. I wasn't there, but it was hilarious. So, yeah. And Max Mosley, you know Max Mosley, the F1 guy, that's his son.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Danny DeVito out of the Batman films.
No, that's Oswald Copperpot.
Oh, there you go. That's where I thought. Yeah,
Cobblepot. Yeah.
Bob Barker.
Cody, that went in the bin pretty quickly.
I'll do a Bob Barker. Bear with.
Come on, Bob Barker.
Oh dear.
What's everyone been up to a week? You been on any streams, boys, or not? I've been busy. I haven't really noticed. Barry Jit.
Barry Jit.
Yeah, Barry Jit.
What have I done? Yeah, I lost to Rez on the Hotspur Hood. Rez won. But however, it was a strong showing with Shelf Side taking the top two spots. Rez won the quiz.
Yeah.
The question was. Rez had a question. What was the question, Rez, about the which president wore the
which president wore the biggest hat? You can guess what do you think was the answer,
Johnny? What do you think the answer was?
Which president wore the biggest hat? Good Lord.
No,
Eisenhower.
No.
No.
The one with the biggest head.
The Monopoly Man or something.
The one with the biggest head.
The one with the biggest head.
Really?
Yes.
And I wonder why I don't go on it.
Yes.
Because you're not invited out.
I have been. I have not returned the
Please, Rez, please, Nick, can you come on, please? Al's asked if he can come on. I need to say I'm full. No.
That was actually. I'll come to that one sec. That could be a Tommy question. Actually, is like, why isn't Alan on this show? Right, and the answer is because he's not invited. It's that style of quiz. It beggars the mind sometimes.
I like the end of last week's show, didn't we? Alan, do you want to apologise to your viewers for not turning up last week? No, I couldn't give a shit.
Amerigo Vespucci, didn't he draw the first, or he was either the first man to set foot on from the old world on the new world, or he did the first map of the Americas or something like that. It's why the theory is that's why it's called America. It's named after Vespucci, although some would argue that if it was, it would be called Vespuccia or something like that. So not entirely sure, but yeah, that's what I think.
Wow.
And a seamless link to an American Will.
Yes.
Bob, Will thinks he can outrun a 96. He's 96 today, Will. You should know that.
Actually, I've got a great one for Larry's Brainbuster later. Now, just on the back of that.
Will's saying that he'd be a lot faster than that on a 90-year-old woman. So, as in riding one. As in sort of like piggyback.
2 pokes and a squirt from Will Stewart. Maori's got a rival for the Queen's love affections, I think. Must be an American.
I didn't go down there. I thought he was talking about riding, as in riding on top of, like a horse thing. And I thought that's just elderly abuse. That is.
What is it with these Americans wanting to jump our Queen? What's going on?
I have no idea.
Is that
it?
Barry's just put the Brainbuster in the private chat. We'll get that one up
later.
Let me have a look. Even the Canadians are jumping on board now. I think and the Queen after a night with Maori. Oh dear.
Oh Jesus.
That'd be a great.
Even 10, 15 years ago, that kind of behaviour would get you beheaded, surely, wouldn't it? You're not allowed to slander the Queen. It shows a slip in the standards of society.
It's never been a law. It's never been a law.
But you can't say you want to shag a 96-year-old woman.
You just wouldn't do it.
No.
You just wouldn't do it. It was part of the culture. You know, there was like an unwritten law, and everyone obeyed it. You know that there are certain things you just don't do. We're a lot freer now than
Mari would.
Doesn't it blow your mind?
American. You know, that's the thing.
Here's the thing. We were talking about. Rez, we were talking about the monarchy at work, and I never realised this because I did a little section about Prince Philip, and I was like, much loved Prince Philip. And one of the blokes at work goes, "Oh, that scallywag, he was cheating on the Queen with some woman, the woman that Nanette Newman or something that did the Fairy Liquid adverts." I was like, "What?" Right, apparently, he was putting it about in the West End or something. He cheated on her with Nanette Newman. The Prince Philip and Nanette Newman had an affair. They were, yeah, and all the older people in the office were like, "Yeah." I was like that before my time. Prince Philip apparently was a bit of a playboy around the West End of London.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, the idea of royalty, sort of just being sort of monogamous is pretty far fetched. It's happened throughout history. But one thing I do know is that, by all accounts, the Queen and Prince Philip were incredibly devoted to each other. You know, she's described him as, you know, her. Essentially the thing that has kept her going all these years. So I don't know, to be honest. It just sounds really far-fetched to me.
Everyone in the office jumped in there like that's the reason he had Prince Anne, because he had to kind of prove there was these rumours in the papers and the press and whatnot at the time, and they had Princess Anne to prove they were still together and they still loved each other and whatnot. It was suggested that they have another baby just to cement their loyalty to each other.
Right, Mrs. Al.
What's going on? He's heard us
Hang
slagging
on,
off
hang
the
on. We have to. We pause our broadcast to find out.
Oh, look at that face from Alan. What happened there, Al?
I've just been offered dessert of ice cream.
All right, you're. I tell you what, you're pushing
put it in
the
the face.
boat out. Jesus, ice cream.
I know.
The other week, all you were moaning about. Oh, I've got toast for breakfast, toast for lunch, toast for this. Now it's fucking fish and chips and ice cream.
Exactly.
You bloody! I'll tell you what, you're like the bloody Kardashians. You
Oh,
are now,
come
mate.
on. It's nearly my birthday. I've got to be treated, don't I? Yeah.
Does that mean you get a birthday blowy?
Mate, when you're my age, you'll find that certain things disappear.
I don't want to know where. I don't want to know what's disappearing.
I don't want to know what's disappearing either.
It'd be me if I get heard.
John, you got to do it, man. You got to do it. It's got to be done. We need some Al's life in there.
So just,
can we get away with that?
Just comment on Will's comment there. So by proxy, doesn't that mean that me and Nick, being true Brits, we're double hard bastards? There was beheadings and all kinds kicking off, and we managed to survive and maneuver our way through history, whilst your relatives were chickens, Will, and they jumped on that boat and they fled over to America. So we're double hard bastards who managed to survive.
It wasn't the Catholics.
No offense to your relatives, of course, Will.
It wasn't the Catholics that were doing the chopping that led to British colonialization, the main part. There was actually the Puritans that were doing that, although the Catholics did also chop heads off. That's it. I mean, everyone was chopping everyone's heads off at that time. It was like head chopper time.
And our ancestors managed to avoid getting chopped. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
History. Just think, there was a time where Prince Philip jumped the Queen for the last time, and they didn't know it at the time that was going to be their last ever jump. So Alan, cherish every jump up you get with Mrs. Al.
Absolutely. She is your consort, so you need to consort.
Are you able to comment on this as a civil servant?
No.
Does it, Alan?
This calls for Al's life to be updated for next week.
So.
I think
We've
got so much material. You could have 2 or 3 days of that.
Oh dear.
That's right, Bobby.
Cody, I have to stop you there, mate. I don't know whether you're aware, but Alan has mobility issues. So.
Oh no, Bobby K. This is brilliant. You ready, boys? Another show goes.
So the Shelfside Spurs show are going to have 4 offerings every week. 2 of them.
This is better than everyone's.
Oh, Cody's comment. Are you ready for this? Oh dear. I was bad at it.
I don't deserve it. I could be having my ice cream instead of talking to you. Look,
Touche, Will. Touche. I like that. Good answer. You were married to me. We couldn't afford to leave. Yeah. Our ancestors were lucky they didn't get sent to Australia, but the rest of the conflicts. Oh dear.
My ancestors weren't even here.
Oh dear. Yeah. We weren't convicts. We didn't get shipped off to Australia. We couldn't afford to go to America. So we end up in a ditch or a hovel somewhere. We managed to survive. We can talk this nonsense about 200 years later. Our ancestors must be so proud.
Those 2 idiots, look at them in the future. Like it'll be a Simpsons episode. Look at those 2 idiots in the future talking about us streaming,
we
talking about
all those lions and stuff, yeah.
Let's go and steal some deer so we stand a chance in Australia.
I reckon. No, listen. I reckon there could be a collab here because 21 seconds from So Solid Crew and Al's life merging.
So Solid Crew.
Oh, yeah. True.
I got 21 seconds to do Mrs. Al.
Mate, I'm up for the challenge of knocking that song out. Don't you worry, I'll try that. I got 20 seconds.
We love you, Al. We love you, Al. We love you, Al.
Oh, Christ Almighty!
Sorry, I'm a bit
Please,
mischievous.
you rushed your battered sausage and chips for that.
Al, after my thing this morning, I'm a bit mischievous, so I do apologise if I have offended you or taken
Your
I
thing.
think it's more because I've been talking really serious shit and not talking, about weird stuff, that you just sort of jumped onto that.
Yeah, so let's move on. Let's talk about the Brighton game.
Let me bring it up. Hang on. I suppose we're obliged to be in Tottenham. Shall we? We're allegedly loosely
in the loosest possible sense.
Yeah. Are you ready for this? Luckily, it was already done for the Alan Bell show. Whoops. It's in the ticker. Let's put up the Barry, you said the atmosphere was good before the game, but it's you could hear Conte shouting and the players talking on the camera on Sky. I watched it at home. It didn't sound like the crowd were up for it at all.
I don't know, Rez. I don't know. I thought. I don't know. The ground was full. There was very little seats that were empty. Fucking hell!
Fuck's sake, Bob.
There's my message back to you, Bob.
That's fair enough. Well, yeah. If there were Covenanters, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Max, can you shut the door? Sorry, I'm being too loud. I'm getting told to be quiet.
And rude.
Yes, I apologise.
And he's still in the room.
Yeah. So look, the state there was a buzz around the stadium, right? We were buzzing off Ben's coffee. I was buzzing off Danny
Kiriaki's leg.
Danny's musk.
I mean, it's a beautiful smell. If you haven't smelled it, guys, seriously, you need to get a big deep breath. So I was buzzing off that. We were buzzing off that. The sun was out. Some people had decided that to choose the wrong attire and wear jumpers and trousers when it was a short and t-shirt type of weather. Yep. And we thought we were going to smash them, and then we saw what unfolded really. So
during the game, I thought it was fine. There was plenty of noise. Even when we were like sort of struggling and stuff, there was a lot of noise. I didn't hear a poor atmosphere. I was actually quite taken at a few points. I thought that there was a lot of noise coming out. I mean, if that's the noise they made at Brighton, I don't know what they're going to sound like, what we're going to sound like at the North London derby, because that was loud. It was loud at times, really loud. So yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing it was just BT or Sky or whoever just muting it or quietening it down.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was. Yeah. I mean, obviously, after that first half performance, it didn't really warrant anything. And I don't know. I didn't think it was quiet. I didn't think it was one of the worst performances. I expected more, but then we expected more on the pitch, right? So
I don't want to sound like Stelios, but I did say to you boys that I could see it coming as soon as Doherty got injured, because I know how badly Emerson Royale impacts our patterns of play and the way the team is so wary of him giving the ball away all the time. They tend to sit a bit deeper. I just had this horrible feeling that he would impact the way we played, and the first game where we have to rely on him, and it was a complete shit show, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, just look. This is. I've been saying it a couple of times. It's the disease. It's the main symptom of the illness that Conte needs to heal, and I think he is. And the main symptom is when they step onto the pitch and it's like a kickabout, when they do that, teams can hurt us because it's like it's a lack of focus, a lack of commitment, a lack of desire. Get rid of that, and we've got, even now, I know I'm not excusing the squad in any way, shape or form. There is so much work still to do on that squad, but there is enough quality in that squad that if they commit, they will at the very least present a serious challenge to any other club in the country. When they don't, they're like a cream puff. You just squash them. And in a way, I think that had Brighton set up any other way, they probably would have frustrated us in the same way, because we saw it against Middlesbrough. We saw it against Burnley. We saw it last season against the likes of fucking whoever it was, Europe last season. You know, how many times have we seen it? Spurs step onto the pitch and they are like, "Oh, is it football? Oh, that's nice." It really is like that. Stop doing that, and we will automatically do better. And then you add Conte into that and some quality signings into that, and we can turn into one of the most dangerous fucking clubs in Europe.
I think also, Rez, one of the things I noticed, and it's been mentioned on other streams, about how slow we were moving the ball. Is like play it sideways, take a touch, push it forward, then play it. But which usually is what Bentancur. Yeah, Bentancur is usually the man that moves the ball quicker, but he obviously his injury, his knock away, he was struggling in the game, wasn't he? And so we kind of lost his ability to help us move the ball a bit quicker, and they're just knocking it back between the three centre backs, and then the wing backs were sat right on the centre backs' toes, weren't they? They weren't giving them any space to.
Yeah, but the thing is that if you play with energy, right? If you play with commitment, you play with desire. What you do is that you force your opposition to also up their game. When you're playing at that level, mistakes are more likely. That's why it's elite sport, because the best players are the ones that can minimize that, right? Conte's system is what I call fuck you football, right? It is a case of come at us and then we will turn around and stab you through the heart. And I love seeing it. I really do, because in the cauldron of the game, whoever it is we're playing, they're my worst enemy. And so I love seeing that kind of thing. It's the viciousness in me. I don't apologize for it. But the point is that if you do that, they start having to up their game. They start making mistakes. You can capitalize. You too will make mistakes. It's the nature of the game. But if you don't put it on the pitch, what's the fucking point? What's the point? You know? And this is what he's got to get rid of. And I think that's what he's doing. Get rid of that fucking attitude. The next time they do that, hit them. You know?
Yeah, it's all very well, but he didn't have any players on the bench to change it around, did he?
That's also, and that's another.
Everyone's saying now, trying to have a pop at Conte, but he didn't have Maradona, Messi, Costa Curta sat on the bench to put them on and change it, did he? You haven't got the players to do it. We mentioned
that might be part of it. I think that might be part of it. They think, oh, my position's safe, so I don't have to try very hard. Hopefully, next season we'll be competing for places.
Well, we mentioned Stephen Corker last week because apparently he made a comment about Joe Lewis's daughter's arse, didn't he? He was the player that said something, oh, she's got a fat arse or something like that. And he was sold a week later, apparently. That's so the rumour goes. Is he playing in America? Is he out in the MLS? Or?
Let me have a look. I think that sounds about right, actually. Stephen Corker, professional player who plays as a centre-back in Turkey, Gaziantep. On loan from Fenerbahce. After Spurs, he went to Cardiff City, then QPR, who loaned him to Liverpool for.
Yeah, he did. I remember that. They needed a centre back. He was on loan, wasn't he? It was an emergency loan. I think they got special dispensation of all the players in the world. You could get special dispensation. I think it was Roy Hodgson. When he was there, I think.
So then he went to Dundee for a season. Then they sold him to Alanyaspor, who then sold him to Fenerbahce, for whom he has not made a single appearance.
And he's been loaned out from his parents.
Gaziantep. Gaziantep play.
Zika Mendieta.
They play in the Super League. I don't know what the table looks like right now. If I can find it, let's see. Gaziantep's Turkish League table. Let's have a look.
Either that, Aaron, or the Scottish League isn't very good. I tend to go.
Allegedly, we don't want to upset
15th.
other countries' leagues.
Gaziantep are 15th in the Turkish Super League.
So they were really good then.
I was watching the Gazza documentary last night when he went out to Rangers, and he found it quite easy up there after struggling with his injuries in Italy. So they only have the old firm games, and which is the high intensity games, and there's a lot of easy games.
Yeah.
Not that we can speak in England, can we? Really, with looking at the amount of the clubs that have won the major honours over the last 20 years. I think didn't Bobby put out a stat or on one of the streams the other day? Is it something silly like 37 out of the 40 or something like that? It's ridiculous in there.
Apparently, former Spurs players have won 78 trophies since Levy took over. That's what
I never get obsessed with that. I mean,
that's
people can go to other clubs. It's like saying, Stephen Corker's released. He hurt his knee and he's playing Sunday League football and he won the Berkhamsted Sunday League Cup. It doesn't mean anything, does it? It's ridiculous. When other clubs batter so that, it's like, it's ridiculous. Don't buy that. It's all in context, isn't it? It's all in context.
Yeah, like that bloody Berbatov. I mean, he went off and won a Premier League. I mean, come on, for fuck's sake. There's nothing.
I don't know, Dovers.
Dovers, I'm not sure, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Actually, the number is 116, apparently. Shit. And that was...
I meant how many of the major trophies have been won by the top, Man City, Liverpool, and Man United, over the last 20 years.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah, we don't want to look at even worse statistics, Rez. Come on.
No,
Sorry.
Well, I think the reason why is because he was one of the first, when Pochettino took over, he was kind of a catalyst for Poch playing the youth rather than, relying on your Adebayors and your Capus and people like that. He bombed them off, and I think he was a sort of a signature player that came into the team to signify the change over to the youth. So that's why we hold him in.
He was one of the youngest.
Yeah, he came into the team, and he when a lot of the players didn't care, he was one that came in and always ran his heart out, didn't he? Really, he wasn't the most talented, but I know. I keep needing to put it on pause and go and get it.
Iggy, look behind you.
So it's fine. I'll look after it. You go and switch the light on.
Go and switch the light on. It'll just be
go on.
Right, now put him down the bottom now while he switches the light on. Then we'll be at the top, and it's the... Oh, my God. Oh, dear.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
I said switch the light on, not cough up a lung.
Yeah.
Lights, camera, action. I'm back, baby.
Yeah. That's
And
look at that smolder. Look at the smolder coming now, Iggy. That's why he didn't turn the light on, because he didn't want to embarrass the rest of us with his smouldering looks.
It's true.
It's nice of you to say.
You're getting a crush on Johnny now as well, Barry, Nick, Ranjit.
No.
Okay, I'm just asking. There's nothing wrong with it.
Are you fucking jealous or what?
Maybe a little bit. Just a bit. I'm just asking.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. If you're watching,
Aaron, Joe Roden would probably do well in Scotland, wouldn't he? To be fair, it'd be like a prime Baresi up in Scotland, wouldn't he? Roden, that'd be a good move for him. Bobby K is showing concern for you, Al.
Apparently, that's the rumours that we're looking to get rid of him, get rid of Joe Roden, and it's like I actually feel sorry for him because it really is such a waste of his career to have come to Spurs.
I think he was like 24, wasn't he, when he first came through? But he went on loads of loans, Ryan Mason.
Yeah, it's true. But it wasn't necessarily about he was the new breed.
Yeah, to see my George Hamilton tan today, Bobby.
You can see that, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of Joe Roden, I feel sorry for Joe Roden because it's such a waste of his career to have come to Spurs. I mean,
Yeah.
Why treat a player like that? You know, if you don't want to play a player, right, just don't sell him.
Just don't sell him. That made sense.
Just sell him, right? No. You see, there was a full stop after the word "don't."
Oh, sorry.
Right?
I don't understand it at all.
If you can't detect my full stops, then you just don't love me enough. All right?
Wow. Sorry, Wes.
Yeah.
Full
I'm
stop.
just putting it out there. All right?
Full stop.
All right. Yeah, at least I'm not calling it a period. So yeah. Anyway,
that used to be one of my favourite puns, Rez. You'll like this one.
Yeah.
If the Femidon fits, if the cat fits, you know.
Oh wow! To all those people that use such equipment, there's no harm in the statement that LJ just made.
Can we get comments in the chat if anyone's actually used
wearing one
right now? Yeah, I know Bob's probably wearing one, but
Bob is definitely wearing one. I know this for a fact. He sent me a video of him putting it on.
Oh God, Aaron, this is a challenge.
Anyway.
Do you know what the Fibonacci sequence is?
Yeah, the Fibonacci is a mathematical sequence.
Oh my God, he knows it as well.
It's you add. So you start with 1 and then you add 2 and then you add the sum of the number to what came before. So it's 1, 2, 3, 6, 6, 9, 11, 13, and then it goes on like that. So you got 1 plus 2 equals 3. Then you add 3 to the 2 to get 5. Sorry, 1, 3, 5. Then you add 5 to 3, you get 8, and then 8 to 5, you get 13, and 13 to 8, you get 21. And I think that's the was a Fibonacci sequence. I think.
So yes, Aaron, he does know about the.
If someone can tell me if I've got that right or wrong, that would be helpful.
It sounded right to me, Rez. I'm not gonna, Yeah, it's right. It's right. Aaron says you're right.
Speaking of the Gaza documentary, has everyone else watched it yet? I think the second part was on last night.
Yeah.
It seems to be a hatchet job for that Rebecca. What's her name? Didn't it really? What's her name? Yeah, just saying what a manipulative cow she was in all of it. Is she still married to your mate from EastEnders, Barry? Do you know? She's married to Ross.
I don't know.
I think wasn't she pictured with her new husband outside court the other day? So she must have divorced Ross Camp. And one thing I picked up from that documentary, I didn't know Gaza and Linda Lusardi were such good friends.
Yeah.
Did he tap it? What do you reckon? Should we go around the panel? Do you reckon he tapped it?
Yeah.
No,
I reckon he smashed it.
No? Did he smash it, Barry?
She was married at the time. I know that's not necessarily a thing, but I never got the feeling there was anything more than that between them. I think it was just friendship.
Sophie, question for Sophie: just marigolds? ?
That was very creepy, Barry. Wasn't it?
You're not supposed to flirt with the audience, Nick. You know.
I'd prefer Iggy wearing
just marigolds. Yeah. But that's because you're a hot-blooded male, so of course.
Yeah. Did you know that Kim's just
there you go,
whipping your butt? My brother's gone all official on us. That he's asked us a football question.
Good.
Question for the panel. He starts right wing back against
Brentford. Oh Lord.
Harry Winks.
So our options are Lavinia, Sessegnon, Emerson Royale. Do you reckon he's trying to break Lucas Moore's resolve into by not ever playing? So go, okay, boss, I'll try a right wing back.
Yeah, could be. I think he will play Emerson. Although he is a horrible footballer, he didn't actually, compared to some of them at the weekend, he wasn't as bad as some, which is pretty bad to say.
You say that he was, Mick, because I've got confirmation bias because I hate him, but he was awful. And then I see people on stream saying, "Oh, he wasn't that bad this week." He was. He was. He's awful. Sorry, Barry. You're entitled to your opinion too.
I was going with the eye test, not the stats test. So,
Speaking of which, Rez, if you wouldn't mind, please explain Hume's problem of induction for the eye test stands.
I'm really not 100% au fait with this at all. I believe it's the idea that the observation of something alone is not enough to offer an explanation for what caused it. I think something like that.
oh my god!
Oh my god!
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. Rez,
what's he done now?
If I send you this, can you bring this up on the screen?
Yeah, probably. Let's have a look. All right.
We're not going to get done for copyright, are we?
No.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I understand now. Yeah, it's a shocker. I don't know if the audience is ready to see it. Are you guys ready to see something that will shake you to your very souls?
Yes.
Tell us in the comments first. I know the panel are, because we're all warped and vulgar, crass people. We're not getting much response. Do you want to see this, people?
Honestly,
really?
They're still contemplating who they want to see it right wing back.
Yeah. Stevie be at right wing. I don't know. We'll give him a chance and then see. I mean, Cody wants to show it. He's all pretending. If Bob doesn't want to see it, allegedly. Apparently, no.
Danny's is a good one.
Where's Danny's? I don't see Danny's.
I'm ready to see Barry's dick pic. Not much to
see. Oh,
Go
yeah.
on, Red, get it up.
I'm sorry, you what? Hold on. Where are we? Share.
Get on with it. Sorry, Mark. Jesus.
Share screen. Window. Here we go. Ready, guys? It's a shocker. It's quite frightening.
Look at that face.
Rez, do you know what's more shocking? Do you know what's more shocking is that I'm in your phone as Nicholas.
Yeah. I'm trying to give you some. I'm trying to suggest you've got some class.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Look at that.
All of the things I do for you. All of the things I do for you, and this is how you treat me. Always going after Danny, but I'm the one who takes you back.
Look at that shirt. Look at fair play, Cody.
Yeah. He did.
Have you worn it out into Canada, or did I see that he's snowing again or something? I think it was snowing again, isn't it?
Yeah, in April. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I
against Brentford.
I mean, are people asking who we think Conte will play or who we think should play? I think Conte will go with Emerson because it's like he's the least square peg that you're trying to fit into the right round hole. Okay, that sounded rude, but you could play anyone there and it would be as effective, I think, as Emerson. You know, I'm sorry, he's not cut out to play for Spurs yet. He might be one day. Whether he'll be here to do it, I don't know. But right now, he's not. And I think any other player. You know what? I would be personally willing to try, the likes of Romero out on the right wing back and just bring in one of our other central defenders to take the central defensive spot.
Rule number one of coaching, Rez: never weaken another area to strengthen another one.
To strengthen another one. Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you do? What do you do? You can't. You can't. Yeah. It's screwed. It really is. Just 6 games. That's all we need to do. Just put up with him for 6 games.
That might be enough to get us not top 4.
Yeah.
Or to see us miss out on top 4.
It might be. If it does, it does. If it does, it does. But it's testament to that'll be testament to how shit our scouting and recruitment has been. If we don't get top 4 because we got an injury to one player who himself was not having the best time. Who himself was not having the best time until recently. Okay, he had what four good games and then got injured. You know, it's very difficult to draw any conclusions from just those 4 games. The hope would be that he's found his boots, his playing boots again, but we had no idea. But the fact that we have to rely on this player that is totally unsuited right now, who is just not right for this squad, for this position, for this style of play, for this league, if you like, is testament to how badly the squad has been handled over the last.
Conte did go to great lengths to say that Chelski can play right wing back. Then he said maybe might put him there and bring in Lucas Moura or Stevie B.
But isn't that breaking your rule though? Because ultimately you're weakening your front three.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
Davos is Sessegnon inverted. Yeah, why not?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean,
I think most of us would, but
I'd be willing to
try. Before, and I'll say it again. Can you imagine Emerson Royale doing tiki-taka in Barcelona training?
Yeah.
How does he wouldn't have been able to survive in those tiki-taka groups. I don't know how he.
Yeah,
how he even ever played. Yeah, little quick touches and quick brains and.
I don't know, Mark. I don't know. That's not what I was going to ask. I don't know, Danny. Sorry. Yeah. I also don't know the answer to this, but he probably would do right now.
Didn't Winks unfollow the Tottenham official account or something on Instagram or something? Because someone's slating him. Or
he's got such a high opinion of himself. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I've actually got his phone number. One of my friends repaired a windscreen for his car when it broke. I probably just got him into trouble, haven't I? Or did he? So
that's the question.
Yeah. And he didn't mean to give me his number. He screenshot it to show me that he was working at Harry Winks' house and his phone number was on the top there. I was like, cheers for
that. Brilliant.
You
have to ring him to get in the gates or whatever at the front. And he no longer works there.
I had a story when I was working at Carphone Warehouse and I was in Milton Keynes and obviously
Carphone Warehouse.
Mobley, your little mobile phone. Apologies for anyone that I've just offended with that accent. Ian Poulter came in and he had a problem with his BlackBerry and there was a repair centre out the back and I was managing that and I said, I just need to take the phone out the back, and he goes, that phone goes nowhere out of my sight. And I was literally, there's obviously stories of, a nice looking girl would come in and you'd kind of pretend you were trying to fix her phone and you'd go through her photos and stuff like that.
I can pay
that. Shit, this is live. But I just literally went down through the contacts and it was like Tiger Woods. And I was like, are you sure? I said, you can come with me. I'm not doing anything with your phone. I was thinking, Christ, there could be some money made off that, piping that out. But yeah, exactly. Aaron,
and you could have got the phones tapped.
Yeah. Well, that allegedly that's what I was employed as.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Bobby, exactly. And Aurier as well. I mean, I'm not saying we should have kept Aurier or that Aurier was great. Aurier's better than Emerson.
He wasn't ever good. He was given enough chances as KWP. He never took his chances, did he? He did if he had a few matches, but he never looked enough
chances. Was he given enough chances? Really? Was he really? Was he ever given a run in the side?
Chenin Zhao's in the house.
Yep. There's only one Alan Sibley. One Alan Sibley. There's only one Alan Sibley. Yeah.
He's the guy that Bobsberg goes on about having a massive knob all the time. I think it is, isn't it?
10-inch Alan.
Or is it? No, it's Ziggy, isn't it? Ziggy and Stel.
I think it's Stel. Stel's seen it.
Yeah.
So hang on, what was the fucking hell, Bobsberg?
That's true. It's true. He had a bomb threat. He's not joking.
I know it is. I was just saying. I mean, I don't know.
No. I mean,
that's a good question, Bobby. If you playing a one-off game where your whole life had to survive on it, who would you pick at right wing back, Aurier or Emerson Royal? I think I have to go for Aurier. He can actually cross a ball.
Yeah.
His problem wasn't lack of talent; it was lack of.
It was bad judgment.
Yeah,
He was rash. It was
I
the same
would,
with.
I would leave him out. Leave both of them out.
Play with 10 men.
10 men. Yeah.
Yeah. But like you said, Rez, he was rash. But he bombed up that right wing. He played balls in. He created. He assisted goals. That that one in Europe where the ball boy threw it in and he threw it to Harry Kane and then
absolutely.
Or tomorrow Harry Kane to put it in. Yeah.
And that took a lot for me to admit that. I mean, because I hated Aurier, but fucking
he
Emerson
had
Royal.
talent. He had talent. He was just let down by his rashness and some poor decision making. That's the thing. I mean,
We always, Bob.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with Aurier is that he had the talent. It was just probably a case of, as Dover says, brain, exactly, that lack of brain. But that sort of thing you can teach a player. It's something that's teachable, but I just don't think there was ever the opportunity for a coach to teach him that, basically. And it just never materialized. He never got to being that really good attacking fullback that he could have been had that aspect of his game been dealt with.
Speaking of Alex Ferguson, he famously had a saying, Rev, didn't he? If you had to tell a player something more than 3 times, they were never going to learn it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But do we know? I mean, we don't know if he was ever told.
What? Don't.
Well, but bear in mind, I mean, you know this, Johnny. I mean, look, when you're in the cauldron of a game, the adrenaline, that sort of thing. You can never keep it 100% under control. And it wasn't every game with Aurier. He had some really good games for us as well. We mustn't forget that. We've got to look a bit more objectively at his time with us. But even if it was every game, fuck me, Rancid, he's still 10 times better than Emerson.
He is, yeah.
Anyone's better than Emerson, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's not me. That's not me hating Emerson. I don't hate him. I just don't want him to be our right back.
And I see the comments about Carl Walker-Peters, and you're right. He didn't really get given enough time, really. But apparently, Mourinho didn't want him because of the height. He wasn't tall enough.
Yeah. He liked the tall fullback.
Poch never played him either.
No.
Yeah.
Really.
Atuba scored against Newcastle, Aaron. When he cut inside, he did that little chop. Then he chopped into it and curled one in from range. Will, you might be right there. It is such a pivotal point. I keep saying to the boys in our chat that you've got to have strong wing backs to play the system. So you might be right. It might not be weakening it to put Kui there. It might actually strengthen us. Although I'm sure playing Lucas Moura, there won't be everyone's cup of tea, but in where Kulusevski's playing at the moment. But Stevie B's been playing. He can slip him in.
Moura does get stuck in, when he's out of possession. So it's
hasn't Moura,
but
did Moura play there a couple of times under Poch?
I don't remember. He played Sonny on left wing back, didn't he, a few times? Yeah. Famously in that cup semi-final.
Against Chelsea. Was it against Chelsea or Man United?
Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah. But again, I mean, even back then, we played Son there. I mean, we didn't have the staff, didn't have the personnel,
Is there an argument for Emerson Royal to actually be slowly moving his way to the top of our West Ever buys list? I can't think of many for the amount of money, take into contact the amount of money.
I think Dombelli rips the
and Dombelli, yeah.
And the thing is, who's going to buy him? Who's going to buy Ndombele in the summer? Who?
I think I agree with that, because the point here is that Ndombele where he is now should be as close to complete as a player as he is ever going to be. There's an argument that Emerson still has a lot of development to do, which is, for me, fair. Again, I don't disagree with people who say he's 21, 22 now, new to the league, doesn't speak the language. Yeah, that's all perfectly fair. So, and I've said it before, he might become an amazingly good right back one day. because I don't.
Does anyone
Yeah.
speak Argentinian? Maybe we all need to learn en masse in the crowd, Res, what the Argentinian, the Brazilian is for "get the fuck away from me." To say Romero, I have to say it all the time to get higher up the pitch. Get the fuck away from under my feet. Go up there, away from me.
I mean, come on.
We need to learn it in Brazilian and Argentinian.
Yeah.
When we played Brighton, we had 2 wing backs, and neither of them for their previous clubs have played wing back.
Yeah,
they
it's
were
true.
in,
we're using wing backs that ain't wing backs. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like Emerson. I mean, I was giving him his chance. Hope. Even with Don Billy, I gave him. But your time can run very quickly with these players with patience. I mean, the other week against Newcastle, he helped set up one of them goals, didn't he? Beautiful movement. Yeah.
I won't go that far. I want beautiful movement there.
Well, put it this way, it got us upfield to score one of the goals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike a player who's no good. It's not their fault. It's not their fault they're shit, right? They don't choose to be shit.
No.
They just are.
Yeah.
The reason I don't like Ndombele is because he doesn't work.
No.
That's why I don't like him. Right?
And
if I was being paid 250k a week, I would work at the very least. I'd be crap, right? No one would ever sign me as a footballer because I'm useless. But whatever job it is, if I'm being paid 250,000 a week, I would at least put the fucking work in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because that's an insult. That's an insult to the crowd. Who in the crowd earns that amount of money? Right? They're the ones contributing to your fucking wages. Work. Yeah. Work. If you don't work, you're a twat.
Nick, Res, how did you ever play? I still play, Sophie. Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
I still play, but these other three
in the comments there, my brother will be digging me out there as well.
Can you confirm whether LJ actually plays or he just turns up and
he runs about a bit. He turns up and runs about.
Well, Rez, now you're going too far. There'll be hundreds of comments saying I'm very lazy like Hoddle. I don't run about at all.
Oh, really?
I used to say I was in a hammock when I used to play centre midfield. I had my own hammock. I used to sit there. I didn't do any defensive. I just waited for the ball and then did my bits. So I had my own hammock. So have you got any? Did you used to play when you were younger, boys? And what positions were you?
I played once for my school. They decided that because I had the height, I would be a brilliant centre back. Yeah, I've got dodgy feet. I'll be a brilliant centre back. I've got not brilliant movement, but I'll make a brilliant centre back because I was very tall. When I play, when teachers see me later playing in goal, they used to say, "Why didn't you come and trial for the teams?"
Yeah,
I said, "Because you never give me a chance."
Can I just clarify to my brother, who actually 14 years different, not 15? Thank you very much.
I never played. I only played kickabout at school. Nothing, everything, and I was usually in goal. I wasn't bad in goal. I could stop most things that were shot at me, but never beyond that. It was just
I did, Sophie. When I was younger, when we were from years 5 to 7, we were our primary school was undefeated. We won every game. We won the league and cup double for 3 years in a row. And I was a attacking midfielder at the start of my career.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
in the Jan Mulby vein.
I mean, obviously, that was when I was had a bit of less timber to myself. Then I went away and played rugby, and then I came back, and then I played as centre back. So yeah.
In answer to your question, there, Will, I was 6'1" when I was 15.
We never really got much of an opportunity at my school anyway, because I went to a public school, or what Americans would call a private school. And that was all. It was rugby in the autumn, hockey in the spring, and cricket in the summer. So yeah, rugby I played, hockey I played for my school, but just never got the chance to play football much anyway, other than kick about. So
yeah, there you go.
But we had Prince. What's it called? Prince Harry actually came and played at our school because I went to Epsom College, which is in Surrey, and that's on that circuit that Eton is on, and Harrow and all of those sort of schools. Yeah, absolutely, Sophie. I'll come to that in a sec. I'll address that in a sec. And there was this kid called Richard Mills who was in my house, 2 years younger than me, and when Prince Harry came, he played in the Colts, which was the under-16s side. So Prince Harry comes along, and wherever he went at that point, he'd have his. They probably still does. I don't know if he still does, but he had his Secret Service protection detail with him, and they're playing rugby, and we had this kid Richard Mills who played fly half, and he was pretty useful as well. Went on to represent the school at sort of first 15 level as well. And just at one point, Prince Harry's got the ball, and he's running down the field, and Richard Mills just basically comes up to him, grabs him around the waist like this, picks him up and tackles him. And you see all these sort of Secret Service agents at the side just suddenly go like this, right? But then they can't come on the field. They're sort of like about to jump out to grab Richard for what's it called, for attacking Harry. And then they realize they couldn't. So you just see them jump like this. It was brilliant. He was a hero for the rest of the year. It was amazing.
Just some breaking news.
Yes.
Which is actually, I don't know whether it shocked me or not.
Oh, yes.
You can buy tickets for the semi-final of the Champions League, City against Real Madrid. Can you actually fucking believe that?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
I thought when we went to the quarterfinal that was bad enough, but to the fucking semi-final.
Oh, God, no, absolutely. I 100% believe that for Man City. 100%. They are a nothing, no mark club now. You know, I actually feel sorry for the proper Man City fans who were there with what's it called, when they were shit. You know, but not the thing. I didn't go to Eton or Oxford. And do you know what the weird thing is that I sound posh, but I'm actually not. I'm a North London council boy. I grew up on a council estate. But when you go to a school in Surrey where everyone is talking like this, and yes, oh, Papa will be dropping us off. You've got to fit in. So it sort of it became crisper. And
so Rez, to confirm, Aaron, what Aaron's really asking you is, you didn't hang out the back of Boris Johnson, right?
No, I wasn't Boris Johnson's fag, as it's called in British public schools, because we went to different schools at different times in history. But I was a fag, believe it or not, because that's what happened British public schools, where the younger boys.
I was a fag.
Younger boys are essentially enslaved by the older boys. And I remember one, because I was a full boarder, so I stayed there all the time. I'd only go home once every sort of 6 weeks or so. So one time at supper, an upper six, which is the top year, calls you over to their table and they say, make my toast for me. So you've got to take this upper six toast, go over to the toaster and cook it for him and bring it back to him.
Wow.
So he doesn't have to get up. And I went over to an upper sixth. He called me over. Well, you're in a public dining place, so probably not. But you know, who knows? And he says, "Reza," which where Rez comes from, and that's what people called me. Reza, make my toast for me, and gives me 4 stars. 4 slices of bread. And in my school, we had girls in the top 2 years. And so all the top up the sixth form would sit with the girls at tables at dinner and all of that stuff. And this girl turns around and says, oh, get your M4. That's my year, middle fourth. Get your M4 to do my toast for me as well. And she lays another 2 slices on top of that. And that's when it started. And essentially 2 tables worth of sixth forms all gave me their toast to do. I ended up cooking 56 slices of toast.
Fucking Alan would have loved you, would he, back in the day?
Yeah, exactly. I could have been Al's fag.
Well, Alan, when Mrs. Al is not available, just give Rez a call. Just
yeah.
Rez, I want 4 bits
how many
of toast.
slices he could butter up in the
next
two minute
No,
period.
thankfully, I didn't have to butter them. I just had to be running back and forth from this fucking toaster, delivering bits of toast to people. And that sort of thing happened. That was the mild version of the shit that happens in British boarding schools. This is why the fucking institution should be gotten rid of completely. That sort of thing was mild when I was there. Stuff like there would be a rota for the M4s my year that you would get deliveries by a milkman of bacon and lemonade and milk and stuff like that, and eggs and shit like that. And it was the M4s on the way down. Yeah, exactly. You'd have to run down and pick up, take the collection and go and distribute it around the fucking upper sixth, right? So they didn't go and get their own stuff. Shit like that. That was the mild version. 40 years before I was there, girls, M4s were being whipped. Some of it was sexual. If you didn't clean an upper sixth study properly, they'd make you do like runs in the cold in the winter, shit like that. I mean, the whole boarding school thing, it built character for me and it gave me an education, but the entire institution is rotten. It is just the establishment at play. It really is. It's where they send boys to become part of the establishment.
Well, Stuart's thinking, fuck, my ancestors got on that boat. That's fucking
part
of
that. Absolutely. It is the most anti-egalitarian thing you can probably think of, Yeah, it was. It's like that. Seriously, and not just me. Believe me, it was like everyone in my year would have something like that. Did you put grape tomorrow? No, but the argument is that it makes you ready for service, and it's just so fucking not. It's just an excuse to impose slavery on weaker kids. It just is a culture of bullying. It's terrible.
I know. I'm glad it turned out to just be toast, because I wondered where that story was going, Rez.
What do you think I was going to do with it?
I genuinely don't know, which is why I was kind of stood back and was like,
I mean, come on, we are on shelf.
What else can you do with toast, Alan?
We are on Shelfside Spurs. Don't forget, we don't talk football, do we? So
Rez, so Aaron would have, if someone had asked Aaron to make their toast, he'd have put their hand in the toaster. Sophie, you went to school in the ghetto. What would have you done? In the ghetto. I can't believe that for a second.
In the ghetto,
Iggy, maybe, but not you.
So Sophie's proper ghetto. She's hard, guys. That's the thing. You got to remember that.
She'll shank you when you're not looking. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Iggy, keep your wits about you, Iggy.
Yeah,
Make sure
man.
you do that watching up.
Behind you, Iggy. Behind you.
Where are you, Iggy? It's been long enough. You've had your dinner. Yeah. But I mean, it was no. Do you know what? That I've been through worse traumas than that. I've been through much worse traumas than that. That was nothing. That was nothing compared to other things. And for me, it's more the fact that it just shouldn't happen to anyone, even if it didn't happen to me. It just fucking shouldn't happen. Yeah, circle jerks. Yeah, soggy biscuit. You never heard of that? Soggy biscuit. So you get an upper six would come in, and he would put a biscuit on the floor and force the M4s, all of them, to wank over it, and whoever came last would have to eat the biscuit. That's genuinely stuff that, not when I was there, but before they sort of cracked down on it a little bit. That
I'm
sort of
sorry, I logged off for a
Yeah.
second and I come back and you're about wanking on biscuits.
No, I'm serious.
Whole another level.
Trust
And
me. So,
Rez,
anyone who
was that a friend?
No, that didn't
got a
happen while I was
friend.
there. That didn't happen while I was there. That didn't, and no, these people were not our friends. These people were our slave masters, right? You got to bear in mind, we were 13, they were 18, right? It was a complete, I mean, all the power was theirs. 3 of them from every house was a fucking prefect. You know, we had 4 heads of school in my house in the 5 years that I was there. You know, it was completely just top down power trip for these kids. It was ridiculous, and most of them then went on to become bankers.
completely bullied. In other words, totally bullied.
It's institutionalized bullying. It really was, you know. So,
Alan, in your day when you were knocking around with Bam Bam and Pebbles and whatnot, did they have school in those days, or
when you had to ride Dino to get to school because the fucking Flintstone mobile wasn't working? What the fucking? Where did you go? How did you get to that, Johnny? Jesus.
Did you fix the car after they put that massive rack of ribs on it?
Oh, that'd be amazing. That rack of ribs.
Oh, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That must be. That did used to be my favourite cartoon. Honest.
Yeah. Until The Simpsons, it was the longest running cartoon ever.
isn't it still running? What's going on? I'm sure they brought it back a few times.
Yeah, they bring it back here and there, but
it's all about the details about it. What type of biscuit was it?
I wasn't there. Thankfully, that didn't.
A friend
happen
was.
during my
A friend
time.
What
was.
did it taste? Yeah, what did it taste like, Rez?
Fucking hell.
You
I
literally
dread
I
to
wasn't
think.
there. My friend can tell me.
I dread to think. I really do. I mean, in a way, you got to be thankful because it went around all the sort of big public schools. That faggery, as it was called, was just completely unacceptable. You know, the way that they did it. So they cracked down on it and they said it's okay to use them as labor, but you can't abuse them, right? So it wasn't as bad when I got there, but it was still institutionalized slavery. You know, it was basically saying you are young, you are there to serve your betters, and I think it still exists. It wasn't as bad when I got to the upper sixth. I think we sort of, as a group, we sort of all decided it wasn't really right to do it, but it was still like you still had the rota. You know, if you order milk or lemonade and all of that stuff that the milkman brings, it's still the M4's job to distribute it and stuff like that. But it wasn't quite as bad. It wasn't quite as bad.
I suppose each like group that suffered, the lower foot, when they got to the upper six,
Payback time.
Most
Yeah.
Well, they thought, but then you'll have some people that thought, hold on a minute, I went through this. I shouldn't have to do it.
You needed a forebearer to go, right, I'm going to change the circle of outcome here. I'm going to stop this.
Rez was like, I'll raise you your toast and I want a chocolate croissant.
Mate, I was the yob. I was the commoner in that school. I was.
No, read that. Fucking hell.
Not like your nan and her 6. That's great, man.
Iggy came on a fucking gondola from fucking Venice. Iggy's life.
Something tells me that there could be separate bedrooms tonight. Iggy.
All this talk of digestive biscuits, I think Iggy be getting a pack of biscuits and taking them up.
Right, boys.
Yes, mate.
I'm going to have to call it a day, yeah?
Okay,
mate. Right. As I say, I'm just not really with it, if you don't mind.
You've got any closing message for your adoring fans?
Nick, get Coover on.
Yes, Nick, do it straight away.
Who would like to come on? I will send you the link.
Yeah, exactly. Who would like to come and straight up to the viewing audience?
Johnny, is that okay with you that I send the link out because I don't want to disrupt the show?
Well, I'll say yes now and scream when we get backstage later. I'll give you a dressing down for 2 hours about sending out links to other people.
Well, when it goes to the back room, I might come back with that one if I'm still awake.
Oh, shit, the bed.
Anyway, I'll catch you soon, boys. Yeah.
See you out. See you, mate.
See you, mate. Bye.
See you, bearded boy.
Yeah, mate. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
Fucking Hogwarts without a magic. You wish. Hogwarts is nothing. Fuck's sake, you've only got the Slytherins to deal with there. This was every fucking house.
I think you had Slytherins to deal with as well, didn't you, by the sound of it?
No, not at that point. No, it was.
Guys, I have a message. I have a message from one of our sponsors. Hang on.
Oh yes.
He does what he wants. He does what he wants. In Alan's life, he fucks off when he wants.
Brilliant.
I think we planted a seed in his head there about getting jiggy with it, didn't we? So he's gone off to.
Listen, more power to him.
Yeah, to fair fucking place, man.
Absolutely.
Right, the link's in the chat, boys. If anyone wants to come on,
yeah, jump on. We'll talk about Brighton a little bit and Brentford and the scum, both of them.
Why? We've not talked about that for an hour and a half, maybe for about 5 minutes. Why?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, guys, I work with two Chelsea fans. Literally, I walked in today and I said, "You had one fucking job. You had one fucking job."
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, well that was the only good thing about it. It fucked off a few years." I was like, "You fucking twats." That's exactly
hang on. I'm not actually going to listen to this voice message. Yeah, I'm actually just going to play it without listening to it. So,
okay.
I apologise if there's anything rude, but it's on Iggy. And
who's
yes,
it from,
Sophie,
Who's
it's
it
from
from?
Iggy. It's from Iggy.
Okay.
It's from Iggy.
Okay.
Listen here. He's had his dinner. He's had his ice creams. It's his birthday. He's going to go.
He's going to go and get some.
Not his birthday, is it? It's his birthday.
Not yet.
Not yet. I don't actually. I do, Sophie. I think I probably do speak to Iggy more than you do. And
Sophie
Danny
found out from Iggy's YouTube video that he's going to the North London derby, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about that for a fucking result? Brilliant.
Sophie, I think so. What's Danny says? Sophie, I think Barry talks to Mr. Kiriakou does not reply to messages. Well, he does, but he replies to them about 4 days later when they, the conversation's like 300 messages deep. So I don't. Oh, hang on. We've got another one from Iggy. Jesus, Iggy, why don't you just fucking come on instead of sending voice notes?
Tell us exactly.
Listen here. In Alan's life, it's his birthday every day. He decides when it's his birthday. He wakes up tomorrow. If it wants it to be his birthday, it's his fucking birthday. Simple as that.
Iggy, the link's in the chat. I'll send it to you
every day.
Come on and say these things.
Stop hiding behind sending messages to me because Sophie's thinking that we're talking about something else,
She's gone to the newsagent to buy some biscuits, I think.
Yeah, where is it? Copy link. Here we go.
Send it. It's coming your way. Come on, boys. Someone that I don't know whether who hasn't been on.
Should we play link roulette? See who hasn't been on yet.
We know.
Will Stewart been on?
Not on ours. No.
I don't know if he has actually.
No.
We've got someone. You ready? I just need to do my little. Who are you? Whoops. Bear with me, caller. I haven't got my mouse.
Bear with me, caller.
He's been on before.
I don't know if he has. Have you been on screen before, Aaron? I don't think.
Yeah. I go on screen on at times. I do.
Yeah.
Not at the moment because I'm not wearing a top, so I'd rather not. But I just felt the need to come on to verify everything that Rez has said in regards to going to a posh, privileged school, having grown up in a somewhat malprivileged background and grown up in a rough environment.
I was the scholarship boy. So bear that in mind. I got a scholarship for a reason, or that tells you the background I came from. We couldn't.
You got a scholarship for a reason.
We couldn't afford.
For me, Raz, I had ADHD, you name it, dyslexia. I grew up in a rough as fuck town full of IRA boys and really no unemployment. My dad got a job, he got a promotion. So I went from having been kicked out of 3 junior schools to all of a sudden being in a Presbyterian, really ridiculously posh elite school. And I'm there looking, what am I doing here? Like, so by the time I got to the 3rd year, they said, like, you either got to get rid of your son or you got to stick him into day boarding, which meant I have to go to school 13 hours a day. Yeah, man, but man, I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't have to stay the night there, but I did 13 hours a day in the fucking place, man. But yeah, I still did a lot of naughty things, and only lasted a few years, man. Got booted out eventually. But
I didn't like the sound of grammar school, Aaron. I actually passed my 12+ and I just put down the local
is grammar school what we call junior school here? Is that like when you're to about 12 years old?
Senior school.
Yeah, senior school. How do you explain what a grammar school is, Rez? Explain a grammar school.
So grammar school is sort of like the principle of a public school, but done properly publicly. It's sort of like for the brighter kids, you know, who at the time that grammar schools were brought in, there wasn't that sort of universality of education or the comprehensive system. So the grammar school was for children whose parents couldn't afford to send them to school because all schools were private then. It was like it was for poor children basically, and then it sort of extended on even after you got universal state education as well. And it was like the 12+ or the 11+ as it was first. You test kids at that age, and if they were particularly bright and they got above a certain grade, you'd send them to grammar school. If they didn't quite make that grade, you would send them to the local.
You give up on them at age 11 and throw them into the pit to give up on them. But yeah. But I wanted to go with my mates, Rez, so I didn't bother going to grammar school.
I only got chucked into the posh school because my dad got a promotion, and therefore the schools I was in were beneath. You know, it was sort of a class system almost. You know, it was like, well, now I've got a fucking promotion, so you're gonna have to go to a better school. And yeah, man, I was lost. I was used to playing football on the street and getting in fights, and all of a sudden I'm in, hello, well, yes, my name is Jonathan Leary III. Yes, nice to meet you. You know, and I go, what the fuck? You know, my name's Macker. All right, what's the crack, man? You know,
Did you manage to bring the fighting and the football into the schools though?
Mate, I remember in first year, this 6th year, like you know, Rez was talking about the older lads. And this 6th year was picking on a mate of mine. I just went up and whacked him in the face. And the fucking vice principal ends up dragging me up going by the ear, you know, to the office going, I know you, McDowell, I know you, and blah, 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 I know your family, because he lived in the same rough town that I'd grown up in. And yeah, man, but like, fuck it, man. You know, you can't sit there and just take it up the proverbial. You have to put the foot down, man. But yeah, anyway, there we are. Just Rez conjured up a lot of images for me from my education.
Private education is a throwback. It's a complete and utter throwback. I mean, there's such inequality in education at the moment anyway, and the idea of paying for education. You've got one thing I'll say: the quality of education I got, looking back on it, was unbelievable, right? Really, like before I went to this public school, I went to state school. You know, I went to a comprehensive, and now I can reflect back on it. The standard of education between the two is chalk and cheese. Private education
it's not right, is it? Whereas every child should have an equal opportunity to get the same education.
Yeah,
absolutely. Similarly, before I went to what we call senior school, or America would call high school, I went to my first school when I was 4. My mum took me out after 3 months because I was getting beaten up by priests. Then I went to another Catholic school that was a bit nicer until I was 9. Then I went to multi-denominational school. So it was all religions. You learned about all religions and cultures, no uniform required. Then I went to the posh Presbyterian school. And I ended up doing my final year in this just fucking throw out kind of leftover, just fucking anyone can go there kind of school. Yeah. But, you know, but hey, look, the thing is, like you say, I did get a good education in the posh school. I learned about classical studies, Greek history, Roman history, music, the arts, lots of things that I wish I had have stuck with, but I didn't. But yeah, look, at least I'm happy enough that I got education out of all of the 5 schools I went to.
That's the one, yeah. And it certainly built character, because I mean, going through that experience, I will never again allow anyone to push me around,
to come on your biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh, stop, man! I heard about the soggy biscuit rumor too. True, I didn't know it was true until Rez just confirmed it tonight. I thought it was just a horrible myth.
Via his friend, Aaron. Via his friend.
Via his friend, via my friend too. By the way, all right.
Via some of the students' dads, because again, your dad goes to that school. They'll send you there as well. Like half the kids in that school, their parents or their father had been at the school as well. It was all dynastic, and again, it's the establishment establishing itself.
But right? Aaron's right, Rez, because so I went to grammar school. You wouldn't have thought it. More because my mum wanted it to be her thing of, oh look, my son's at grammar school, and she was a teacher and coached me to pass the 12+ and everything else, right? But we were there for the open evening, and I was on tea and biscuits, funnily enough. But I was making a cup of tea, right? Now, to me, before that, I always used to put the milk in first, not afterwards, right? And there was a comment from one of these parents like, "Oh, you don't put the milk in first, do you?" So after that, I've never put milk in tea first, because it almost like traumatized me. And then
because you don't get the creamy residue, the fatty residue.
Yeah, so I then left that school to go to another grammar school over the other side of town, but there was a high school next to it. And the guy goes, "Oh, why have you left that school? Only naughty children leave that school." And I went, "Mate, it's a fucking girls' school over the road. Why the fuck do you think I want to come here for sixth form?"
Sorry, Nick.
Custard creams, anyone?
Yep.
Oh, you foul man. You foul man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, it's Iggy, the jiggy dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we gotta laugh some of this stuff.
Yeah,
Jiggy. I just gotta call Sophie out for a moment. I'm not what you would classify as a posh boy. My parents were inner city street kids, and they moved to London when they were 16, 17 years old. And my mum used to sell stuff on the street. My dad did well for himself. I didn't grow up in a posh environment whatsoever, and none of my relatives are posh or nothing like that. But I ended up in a fucking posh school. So anyway, Jiggy, take it over.
Nice one, mate. Take care, Aaron. Listen, guys, you think I was joking about this? Her gran and 6 kids on a dinghy boat. It's a true story. Yeah. She's right here. I'll tell her. She can hear me exactly what I'm talking about. It's no joke. We came by plane, mate. I'm just letting you know. We came over by plane.
We came
fuck you. We came on the plane, yeah? You
have to get on a plane. We came on a plane.
When did your family move, Iggy? When did your family move to England from Italy?
No, my lot. Well, my grandparents came over already in their adulthood. My mum was like 15, 16. The first time they came over, then they went back. My mum was 16. Then she got married to my dad, and they were like the first time they were over with they were both 21. They were from a small town in Sicily. Very naive, you got to think if you're from a small town where inhabitants back then maybe was 2,000 in their town. They come to London, they were freaked out. I was born in that time, which is why I was born in London. They were like, well, this London life was just too much. So they went back, and then obviously, which the problems are still in Italy. They still have now, work and and the politics, and we know the Italian story there. Everything's by recommendation. You can get a job by recommendation, and if you have that job, the next person, when you retire, that job gets passed on to your son if they wishes to take it. So there's it's a very, very long trivial story. So they knew they had no future there. So after I was born, they made they moved up to
a movie about you.
Sorry?
No. You were saying after you were born.
No, we moved up to north of Italy in Milan, which is why my Milan story, and then not my Milan story, but you know what I mean. That's why I supported an AC as well. And then when I was 8, we moved for 1 more year back in Sicily. So yeah, you could call me a traveler if you like. It's not. I mean, I really did live that life for quite a while. We moved back to Sicily, and when I was like 8, sort of 9, going on to 10 years old, we made a permanent move to come to London, and that was it. And I've been here.
Would that have been during the Garibaldi times, the Mussolini times, or the Pepe the Shrimp from Corleone?
Thankfully, I didn't leave those. I didn't live that time. That was way before my time. But you know what? I came here. I've been Jesus steak. What is that?
Is that a picture of Rez eating cum or biscuits?
I thought I was seeing Rez.
No, I was wearing white. I was wearing white that night.
Steak? Is that Alex Hilton? Oh,
no, it's Rez. Yeah.
It's R2D steak. Yeah, man. R2D2 steak. Yeah, here we go. All right.
Yeah, man. So that was basically it.
Iggy,
a lot of moving around.
Iggy, I have an absolute infatuation with Irish immigration, Italian immigration, and I read up a lot about it. And one of the places me and my mum want to go is Sicily. We're dying to, because I don't want to be stereotypical, because of The Godfather and because of Luciano
where the film location is, where they filmed it. If you ever go there, let me know, and I'll tell you exactly where they went.
We've researched it all, me and my mum. That's on our bucket list, yeah.
Okay.
Aaron, if you do that, just let us know, because obviously if Iggy's giving you recommendations and we don't see you on the stream, we know what he's done with you. So
the original Godfather was obviously, as we know, was filmed in Corleone. But in actual Corleone, Sicily, when they filmed it, so the film was filmed in the late 70s, 72 or something like that. But 72. It was set war times, wasn't it? So correct. What happened is in 72, Corleone, although it's quite an old city, an old town, it had moved from post-war. So they had to go and find another village which they can set it from war times. So they found another part of Sicily, which is called Savoca, which is in Messina. So it would be northwest. That was Corleone, the actual town, and moved on. So they needed to set that scene back in the 50s, or even earlier than that, way earlier, in the 30s even. And they found this town, which is where the actual scenes in Sicily, where Michael Corleone goes to the bar, when he's describing the girl that he's just saw, and then the dad.
Apollonia.
Yeah, Apollonia.
Yeah. He got hit by the bolt of lightning.
Aaron, that bar still exists. It's still pretty much the same. It doesn't change that much. It is an actual bar where you can get an espresso, and inside of it, it's got like a little shrine. Opposite, you got the director. They got like a little what is this stuff? What is it called? They got the actual, like a statue of the director who filmed Corleone, who filmed The Godfather. Yeah, it's actually there. And you can, and then a small walk away, which is where they got married, when they made that downhill walk. That is still the same. The church is still up the top. Listen, it was a beautiful. I spent the day there and actually looked at all where they filmed that whole scene in Sicily, and it was great to see. But
if I ever get married,
Sophie was also there.
No, but
Sorry, I was going to say, if I ever get married, I'm going to have my entire wife's family walking behind me, playing that music. Yeah,
it's exactly.
Iggy, you know, in real life though, Toto the shrimp is it Toto the shrimp or Pepe the shrimp? Toto the shrimp, yeah. And he the Capo de Tutti Capo, yeah. Who up the judge, man? He came from the original Corleone.
That's
and yeah, man. By the way, did you watch Gomorrah? Did you watch Gomorrah?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched all 5 series. Yeah.
I thought it was the best TV show I've ever seen in my life, man. Absolutely insane.
Crazy.
And also another good one, Romanzo Criminale.
Watch them all, man.
There's a third one I forget the name of now. But yeah, Italian drama. It's so good, man. It's got to be the best. If you don't mind the subtitles,
subtitled, yeah. If you don't mind reading the subtitles, it's quite incredibly accurate. It really is. It's so true to life, almost like. I know
you have to watch it with subtitles. If you don't watch it with subtitles, the acting looks bad. Same with Naruto and all that.
Because what happens is a lot of part of Italy is you've got a lot of regional. So you got the Gomorrah is from Napoli, then you got the Romanzo Criminale from Roma, and they all speak the regional. The accent's so strong that even I struggle to understand it. So without those subtitles, I wouldn't understand quite a lot of it. Unless you're from there, you wouldn't understand it. And I struggled with quite a lot of the dialogue in Italian.
Calabria is another place I'd love to go travel about, just because of the Ndrangheta.
Mate, you need to go from Rome and then sort of just make a trip, just go south. I mean, the north of Italy is beautiful too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, Tuscany. My family's been there.
Steaks had enough and it's buggered off. Steaks had enough. But if you love that part of the south, definitely go from Rome.
But what's the mount? I'm a big fan of the Giro d'Italia. What's the mountain range again called up near Tuscany, up north? Not the Alps, obviously.
Emilia Romagna.
No, it's near Lake. What was the famous lake?
Lake Como.
Yeah. The mountain range near there. They go through it in the Giro d'Italia every year. It's not the Apennines.
Apennines.
No, not the Apennines. They run down the spine. It's the one up to the northeast, I think.
Rez, are you telling me you don't know the answer to this? Well, fucking hell.
Oh my God, Rez doesn't know something.
Dolomites.
It's not
Joe Lombardi. Aaron is the one about the Rome gangs. That's the Banda della Magliana. Yeah.
Listen,
and that was in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. No, listen, it's a great. The best way to see that country, honestly, is by taking a car and then just drive down, just drive down, and you can see so much of it. You can. I know the train is there and stuff like that, but it's brilliant country to see, and a lot of it hasn't been explored even by myself, and that's something that I definitely want to do, to visit bit by bit and just have a look at it. Traveling in a proper way, go by car and then slowly make pit stops along the way and actually visit that country, because some of it is amazing.
Iggy, my favorite myth or rumor about Italy is that you could be driving 200 kilometers an hour down the fucking freeway, highway, motorway, whatever you want to call it, the autobahn, and the cops pull you in and go, "Nice car."
Yeah, they can pull you there. Yeah, it's up to them. They do what they want. They do what they want over there.
They've got Ferraris, man. Apparently, a couple of
some of the best Alfa Romeos. A lot they still drive over there. Yeah. One of the really sporty Alfa Romeos are super speed cars, especially on the mountain. They drive like they're crazy when it comes to driving over there. Absolutely.
Iggy, can we hear the story Sophie's asked about when you visited the town? Something to do with scooters and laughing, or
what was it? What was she saying? Tell us when we visited.
My dad used to drive a Lambretta in the 60s when he lived in England, by the way, and go down to Brighton. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about their little motorbike thing that they had. What they got?
A Lambretta, man. Yeah. Not a Vespa. A Lambretta.
But this particular one, it's like imagine like they have a little Lambretta, and at the back of it they got like like they sell the fruit at the back of it or something like that. It was really small thing, right? And he came by, and he's obviously like a Godfather tour guide, unofficial. tour guide. Yeah. So he comes over to us. Me and Sophie are having a drink at the Vitelli bar, which is we're actually sitting outside in where Michael Corleone, exactly in that seat, because I wanted to sit there and have my espresso there. The guy comes over, goes, "Have you been, in Italian?" Goes, "Have you been to the Chiesa, the church up the top there?" I said, "No, we was going to walk there." He goes, "Don't worry, I'll take you up there." I said, "Mate, have you seen the size of me? There's no way I'm going to be sitting in that thing with me, you, Sophie, and the kids, and you're going to go up the hill where the walk is and where in the film, but you're going up the hill to take me up to the church. We're going to flip backwards." He goes, "Don't worry, we'll take it." All right. I sit in this scooter alongside him. We're literally touching shoulders. Half of my body's off the scooter. And we're thinking, how the fuck are we going to make it up to the top of the hill with us lot in here? He goes, "No, no," and he's telling me, he's singing, and he's going, da 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 da, and he's hitting that scooter, honestly, full to the brim, up the hill, and we're just about moving. And I'm thinking, how the hell are we going to make it to the top? I looked at Sophie. Sophie's looking at me. I'm thinking, we ain't going to make this top. If anything, we're going to make it to the top and flip backwards. Do you know what? I was so scared, man. And this guy's just humming the Godfather theme the whole way through it. But do you know what, mate? The church was beautiful. I have to say that. We don't get to see the inside of the church that much. We see them sort of like outside, and then they make their way down. But inside was really nice, really cute little church. And then we actually said, "You know what? Forget the scooter. We're actually going to make that walk." And we actually walked all the way down to the bar. And there was a wedding. There was an actual wedding. There was an actual wedding there, and we were sitting at the bottom of where the bar was, and we was looking at the top. And there was actually a wedding taking place.
Yeah, it's because they knew you were in the town. It was like a bunch of tourists here. Get a wedding going.
Do you know what? I've got a photo. I've got a photo somewhere. I will look it up and I will post it. I will send it to you guys. It was just a surreal day to actually be there. I don't even know how many years since they filmed it. We went. It was like 50 years later.
Was there lots of? Please tell me there was lots of guys hanging around the perimeter holding shotguns.
Not quite. But you know what? It's got a wicked vibe to it, Aaron. It's got a lovely sound. Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what I love about Sicily, and Sophie does too. It's like when we go there, it's not quite 2022. It's like 30 years behind. It's very much, we all get, of course they have Wi-Fi and they have the internet. They do that for that.
But, what? That's such a disappointment.
They do, yeah, but wait, if it picks up, depending where you're sitting and where you're standing, you have no reach. You may have to move and walk down to another area.
Iggy, it wasn't like when we were kids and we had that long lead from the telephone line all the way back. Go all the way up to the top and plug it into the church to get signal.
That place, Sicily's beautiful, man. Sicily,
well, that's what I was saying to Dermot earlier, Barry. I was just saying that I shout out the window. He's 30 kilometres down the road, and if the wind blows in the right direction, he can hear me. That's how we do it in Ireland, man.
Listen, mate, they got these little scooters. Some of the town.
Can I just interject very quickly before we get back to it? You do realise I think there's a bit of life imitating art here, because Alistair Gold, before his last video, he did a travel vlog when he was in Italy as well, and now we're doing something very similar ourselves.
Really, I had no idea. But
thanks, Red. I was enjoying listening to Iggy's telling us a story, and you come up with that.
Yeah.
No, do you know what it was? I'll tell you, this is the funniest thing. Where my mum and dad grew up in this town, which is obviously 3,000 inhabitants in that village, and it's right atop of the mountain. So it's always quite, even in the summer, it's quite chilly at night. You do have to wear like a top because it does get cold. When I mean cold, not England cold, but you still have to wear a jacket. So at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, so we're having a first night, wake up in the morning, it's loud, which is somebody on a megaphone. So you got these little scooters going about, and he's got all the vegetables, all the fresh fruit, all the fresh, and he's just going him and a megaphone in the road, shouting out, aubergines, fresh aubergines. Like he's doing it Sicilian now, so he's going for your fresh aubergine, tomatoes, onions, and this, and you're like, it's 8 in the morning, man. 8 in the morning.
Iggy, say it in Italian. Say that. Say all of that in Italian. The fresh aubergines.
All right, let me see. He goes, melanzane fresche.
Yes.
That's how he does it, man. And it's like, and then all you can hear is this megaphone and his muttered voice, and you're like, man, what is going on here? And of course, mate, oranges, oranges.
Or the fresh lemons, the lemons.
Mate, the lemons are to die for. The oranges, you cannot hold in one hand. They're massive. But the lemons, honestly, and if you have the granita, which is the lemon, mate, it's something. You got to go over there to really experience the food and all that stuff. It's all organic. That's why they live 100 years over there, man.
You're getting me in so much trouble. I got a message from my daughter's mum 30 minutes ago, and I haven't responded to her, and now she's frantically messaging me. But I'm intrigued and fascinated by your Italian tales here. The furthest I got into Italy was we were in Munich on a holiday when I was about 13.
That's a long way from Italy.
No, wait till you hear, Rez, wait till you hear. We drove via Austria into Switzerland, through the Brenner Pass, into northern Italy, hit a fucking traffic jam, all in the one day, and Dad goes, let's go back. And we drove all the way back, stopped off in Vienna. I got locked in the toilet for 2 hours in a train, in a garage, a gas station. And that's about all I remember about my trip to Italy. So,
mate, you would love that. Where they actually filmed Gomorrah, that is an actual town, and that actually exists the way you see it.
What's called again?
And the thing
know
is,
the name.
Aaron, at night, not even the police go there.
Secondigliano.
Yeah, that's it. They don't. The police. I've spoken to a few friends that know that area right well. They said the police at night.
Scampia.
Yeah, they don't even go around there at night. They just say, you know what, you're on your own, mate. You're on your own. We'll see you in the morning. And that's if we're forced to go there. So it's incredible. Some beautiful parts as well, like Ischia, Capri. You can take a car and just drive down there. It's an awesome journey to do.
I'd love to go.
You probably need a month. You probably need a month, Aaron, to really go explore what you want to see.
I'll tell you one place I don't want to go, and it's purely because of my upbringing and bad experience with Catholicism in Ireland, being a non-Catholic in Ireland, having no religion. I don't want to go near the Vatican. Yeah, I'm sorry, mate, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but
no, you're not offending me, mate. Sure,
I've no interest in it. I've no interest in it, like whatsoever. I'd much rather go and see the provinces.
All I can say to you from because I don't retain myself as a high religious person by any stretch of imagination, and I hope my mum's not watching when I say this.
Mama. I'm sorry, Mama.
I'll tell you what. Standing outside the Vatican, where the Pope, because we was there on a Sunday in Rome, ironically, and obviously that they had their thing, and the Pope came out, and do you know what? Honestly, just to look at it, it was amazing. But I was there maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then we just carried on our journey. But it's fantastic. Rome was beautiful as well.
It's not just like going to a Punch and Judy show or something.
No,
they wave and punch each other.
We was curious. We walked down there. We had a look around. It was amazing to see. But for me, it was all about the Colosseum. That took my absolute breath away. The actual Colosseum, obviously you can get headphones and the guy's talking to you in English as well, so you can actually understand what's being said.
I'd love to go to Monza. And what's the other circuit where Ferrari developed the cars? I forget the name of it now. It's not Monza, it's the other famous one.
What, the Ferrari? Where the Ferrari?
Yeah.
Bologna. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. You're talking about, where they do the Ferraris.
Yeah. It's not Monza's the famous circuit, but there's a second circuit where
Bologna is where they where they manufacture the Ferraris.
That'd be
cousin, my wife's cousin went there, and he was there for absolute hours. He was there for hours. He was so interested. He's such a car fanatic that he actually stayed there for hours on end, and they showed him around. It's beautiful. They've got a museum there as well. Definitely. Listen, it's one of those ones where you have to go and visit it. And it was so fun. I know Sophie, we went to Napoli and we didn't have a pizza. She won't let me live that down. We was there in 2000. She was there to It's the land of where they made the original pizza, margherita, which stands for the Queen Margherita, of course, which is why it's the green, white, and red. Which you have the green for the basil, red for the tomato, and white for the mozzarella. That's why it's called
tricolore
margherita.
or something like
tricolore.
tricolore.
The tricolore is the salad.
What did I put the fried egg on the Napolina pizza now?
Listen, it all went crazy after that. But the original pizza was dedicated to Queen Margaret, because we was under the monarchy, as you guys know. So we was the Queen Margherita was the Italian flag, and they made it with a simple tomato, mozzarella, and basil, which represents
basil. I make that salad. It's beautiful.
Which represents the Italian flag. There you go.
And drizzle a little bit of olive oil over it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And now we're talking about pineapple pizza. See, this is where I lose my shit when I start reading things like that.
So do I, mate. Pineapple on pizza is an insult.
I cannot talk about pizza without somebody asking me, "What do you reckon about pineapple on pizza?" Mate, we didn't invent that. That was an American thing. It was Canadian.
It was Canadian.
Canadian. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It was Canadian, and then it went to Hawaii. I don't know. I don't even know the history.
Have you ever tried it, though, Iggy? Have you ever tried it? You might like it.
No, I honestly have never
tried it.
It's
fucking horrible, man. I tried it. Look, for me, it's got to be wood-fired, thin base. A little bit of tuna and some calamata. I know they're Greek, but some black olives, and that's how I'm happy with that pizza. And don't overdo it. Not too much topping.
Wood fire completely changes the. I don't know if you guys have ever had it. Wood fire pizza. It's just a different world, man. Different world.
Iggy, I get offended when I see people in the chat talking about what's better, 5-star, Domino's, Apache. And I don't want to get involved because I feel like a food snob.
They know I buy it. They love the fact that I buy it when I see things like that, and I react to it. I mean, I know why they're doing it, but just there you go. Sorry, Will. I apologize. Yes, it was Canada. Sorry, man. But you guys have taken it to another level too in America. It might have started in Canada, but you guys have also gone to levels and beyond in your own pizza. But you know what? There's some brilliant parts in Brooklyn. I think we spoke about this as well, Will. I went to Brooklyn in my last visit in New York in 2017, and they don't mess about there, mate. If you go and have a few pizza slices in Brooklyn, it's some really, real lovely.
Iggy, what do you think about Chicago deep pan pizza? I mean, to me, that's also offensive, unless it's on ciabatta or something like that.
Ciabatta is a different. Yeah, it's different. I'm not mad on thick based. We've gone completely off piece there, haven't we, guys? Sorry, man.
Yeah, sorry, lads. Myself and Iggy going off on one.
Yeah, we need to have a private conversation. Sorry, guys.
I think so.
Don't be sorry.
Speaking of Canada, did anyone listen to Brian on the Spurs Show podcast this week? He was a guest on the Spurs Show, with Mike Lee and Theo Delaney.
I haven't actually seen it. I heard that he was on it, but I haven't actually seen the actual podcast itself. It is. I have it saved on my phone. I've got to watch it. I haven't had time to watch it.
Kirst was on there as well from the old YouTube from going about a campaign about the girls in football as well. She was on there as well. He was so well behaved all the way through it. Then he asked him he mentioned Daniel Levy at the end, and then Brian went on a massive rant, and he goes, "Oh yes, I was warned about this. We're bringing this Daniel Levy up to you." He's like, "Don't worry about it, mate. It's fine."
I was about to ask which of the several Brians was this, but when you said he went on a massive Levy rant, I can assume it's
yeah. There you go.
Good on him.
Yeah.
What was the podcast, please?
The Spurs Show, it's one of the biggest podcasts. Theo Delaney and Mike Lee, they do.
Is it an audio or YouTube?
It's on audio only, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
He used to have Phil Cornwell as well.
Yeah, he used to. Yeah, he used to share with full Cornwell, didn't it? Be kind of.
I prefer the visual, so I can see Barry picking his teeth.
Barry, what were you going to say there before I rudely cut you off?
How dare you, LJ?
Yeah, I know.
I said what Sophie said. It was her game too. Is what Kirsty
her game too. That's it. Yeah.
Listen, it's a brilliant initiative, and I don't see what the problem is. You know, it could be a man's game, it could be a woman's game. It doesn't really matter. All it matters because you got to think, guys. This is what sorry. A lot of the times I hear comments in their Twitter, and I know most of them are probably trolls, and women shouldn't be part of football. It's a man's game, or you got to think. Imagine if you got a daughter. I don't have a daughter, but many friends of mine have, and they're into football, and they're really good at football. Who are we to deny these girls an opportunity to play football or to do something that they enjoy? And it's the same principle if it was a boy that was interested maybe in something that's not so. Perhaps it's not football. It could be dancing or whatever it is. Who is anybody to deny children to go and fulfill a dream or whatever it is that they would choose to do, be it on a football pitch, be it on a dance, on a stage? Who are you to deny that person or to deny that kid, be it a girl or boy? For me, absolutely. I'm in absolutely all favour of girls football. I know it's growing, and I followed the last World Cup, and do you know what? It's okay, yeah. It's but you know what? It's not to the standard of men's football. But how long has men's football been about compared to the girls' football? It will have its own path. It will have its own standards. It will have its own level. What matters is that we don't deny them having whatever their level may be. It doesn't matter. It's not about levels. It's about them getting out there, playing their football, enjoying it, and you not being in a way of stopping something that those girls perhaps have dreamed since they were little girls to become professional footballers. Let them,
Iggy,
do their thing, man.
Iggy, my daughter, she's I think 21 years old now. I'm so bad at these numbers. She's half Filipina. Her mum has lived in Japan since she was 17. I met her in Japan. My daughter is a Japanese citizen. And after the tsunami, and my daughter played football, right, all her life, and basketball. After the tsunami, the Japanese women's team went on and won the World Cup, and the country was in such devastation. It lifted them all, the men, the women. It didn't matter, if you're male or female. No one cared. It gave them such for that nation. It really uplifted them. Unfortunately, my daughter, she gave up the sport. Well, no, I shouldn't say unfortunately, because I have a lovely little granddaughter now. But I mean, I know what the women's team, when Japan won the World Cup, did for that nation, and it was huge. It inspired my daughter to give up basketball, play football, and she was really good. She played for Tochigi, which is a prefecture in Japan, and of course she's a baby now, so she stopped. But I've seen it firsthand. It doesn't matter if it's male or female. When the whole country's behind you, it can change the nation's optimism. It was like Ireland in the 80s when we were going through poverty, unemployment, and then we got to Euros in '88 and we beat England. We all of a sudden thought, oh my God, we can beat England. We're not going to sit here and get battered.
It can be inspiring, man. Yeah, it can be inspiring.
Huge.
It gives
it's
you
huge.
Hope. It gives you
inspired.
Hope. It inspires a lot of kids out there. So, somebody's got to make the way. So the girls are doing what they're doing today to make an easier future for the next generation, a generation after that. So the young girls that want to perhaps one day become a footballer will see that there's girls football that's taken off and thinking, you know what? We're not deprived. We can do it. So for me, listen, I get that in the 70s and in the 80s, there was a different mindset. It was a time where I grew up. So and there was we had 2 or 3 cracking footballers in our school, which were girls, and they did not have any no foundation. There was nothing in place for them to explore it. They were said, you know, it's not for you. Go and look for something else to do. And I witnessed that, and it angered me back then. But they had no voice, and we couldn't do anything. We could not do anything. I didn't understand it, but there genuinely wasn't anything back then to say, well, where could you go? There was not now. But now in 2022, to still have people out there that actually question it, or you know, just sheer stupidness as to why they still don't. They shouldn't have a part in football, or they shouldn't be a part of this modern. You know, in 2022,
I remember it vividly. We had a girl at our school again. She was really good, and then she used to do all the training and stuff. And then we had a game one day. Her name was Amanda. We're like, "Is Amanda playing?" They're like, "No, she's not allowed to play." And we're like, "Why? Why is she not allowed to play?" "Oh, because the rules say she's not allowed to play." And we're like, "Well, that's stupid rules, then, aren't they?" We were only 7 or 8 at the time. We're like, "Well, it's a bit stupid. Why can't she play? She done all the training with us and stuff. Our girls aren't allowed to play." It's like,
yeah.
I remember being a little boy, like, that's stupid rules, then, aren't they? Can they change the rules? It's a bit silly. I guess it's done for.
I moved to New Zealand in about 2003. I was there for about a year, and first thing I did was join a 5-a-side team, and I just thought it would be like lads playing football.
Yeah,
it was a mixed league, so you had 2 or 3 girls in your team. The rules were guys weren't allowed to score goals, and I didn't know. I'll be honest. I didn't want to tackle the girls. I was used to growing up playing football in the 80s and 90s, and I didn't know what to do. It was new to me. I didn't realize it was the biggest, most played, participated sport in New Zealand. Everyone thinks of the All Blacks and rugby. Actually, football in New Zealand was the biggest sport in 2003, and it was mixed. But like I gotta admit, I did feel uncomfortable because it was new to me to play football.
Aaron, that was a different time, mate. That was a different time, and I can almost excuse that because I say, you know what, it was a different generation. It was the 80s. It's now, you know, a long 80s and 90s is a long time ago. It might feel like yesterday to us, but it is a long time ago. You know, 30, 40 years have, you know, gone past since. But to this day, to say that even though we have all the platform to do it, we have the infrastructure to do it, we have the, you know, we've moved on with time. So still have somebody out there to say, nah, this is not a place for you. You shouldn't be going to watch football in the stadiums and stuff like that. I know listen, we're talking a minority now, which the vast majority are in full favour of this, and rightly so. But I don't agree to deny any children. I don't care if I hear that, if I'm in a room with anyone or hear anyone saying that, I would have it out with them straight away there and then. So I would not be comfortable with anyone saying that nobody should be denying anybody the opportunity to dream and to fulfill their dream. Nobody.
Speaking of fulfilling their dreams, seamless link. The lad's going to fulfill our dreams on Saturday afternoon. Brentford away. Rez, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts ahead of the game?
I think it's going to be a hard fought match. It's not going to be something that's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. But I think I think we'll get a result. I think we're going to see them thinking, what are you bidding on eBay? Nothing. No, I was just listening. I was listening to what was being said. I didn't feel that I wanted to say anything, so I was just listening on doing other stuff. It was, I think it's going to be a tough fought game. We're going to get the victory. Either that or it's going to be a proper ding dong with sort of like, you know, back and forth. It'd be like 9-7 Spurs or something. I think we'll win, but it'll be close.
I agree totally. Listen, we have to show the first thing I have to see is the reaction to last week's defeat. There has to be an immediate reaction. how we won, and I spoke about this morning, how we won the 2 previous matches that we played against them. We played them in the cup and we played them in the league. The last home league game we won 2-0, we scored early. And then we bought time with that. They started coming onto us, and we picked them off and scored on the counter attack. And similar thing happened with in the cup as well. So I think it's a sellout crowd on the Brentford game. I know it's not the biggest stadium, but it's a sellout crowd, and every big matches they always sell out. So for me, we need to start really strong. I don't want to see the start that I saw against Newcastle. I don't want to see the start that I saw against Aston Villa and again against Brighton. Too many of those first halves, are lost by the tempo that we play in, or we allow maybe too much of the initiative to the opponents, which is what happened, especially at Aston Villa. So I want to see us start strong. Hopefully take the lead in the first sort of 10-15 to where we can actually settle into the game. And then we put the pressure on Brentford to say, right, come on in. We've shown you what we've got. Come and show us what you got. And then with that, we can perhaps start picking them off and really start getting the goals that way. Listen, I expect to see a bounce back. I expect to see us to get at them. We definitely need the win because I cannot even contemplate thinking losing 2 on a bounce at this stage of the season. And given what's happening around us, there'll be points dropped around us. We know that. But it doesn't matter if we then don't do what we're meant to be doing. So I fully expect and want a win. It's going to be probably a narrow win, but a win nonetheless. Score predictions, I don't know. Okay, who cares? As long as Spurs comes away with a result, it could be 1-0. I'll take a 1-0 now. I don't really care. 1-0, 2-1, not bothered. As long as we come away with a win.
Aaron, what are your thoughts?
I'm not as analytical as you guys. I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys. I've gone from being frustrated after a Brighton game to elated when United lost to frustrated, deflated after Arsenal won. At this point in time, I don't have many more or much more expectations than a draw. Like I said, I'm kind of deflated. And it's been a roller coaster over five days. It's been a rough ride, I think, for every Tottenham fan. So I don't want to pump myself up and think, we're going to beat Brentford. Brentford, a decent team, man. The only thing I think that we have going for us is that Conte is going to have kicked the bollocks off them all week, and Brentford they're an attacking team. They like to come forward, so that might suit our game. And I'm hoping that we win. But look, I'm just gonna go and fucking put one tactical on the left side, one tactical on the right side of the fence, and say 1-1.
Barry, last word on Spurs.
Last word on Spurs. Look, I'm with Iggy here. I don't care what happens. We get the 3 points, and that's the most important thing. I don't care whether it's, whether that's a scrappy 96th minute winner, or what it looks like. 3 points is 3 points, and we just, like Aaron said, it has been a roller coaster. It's been the whole, everyone coming back out coming out and saying, oh, there's this, and we're shit, and we're bottlers, and we're this, and we're that. And, we weren't saying this. We weren't going all crazy about when we went on a run of 7 wins out of 10, right? There's 6 games left, not cup finals games, 6 games left. If we win 4 of them, we get top 4, in my opinion. And look, we can't, like he said, we can't contemplate losing, because wouldn't it be Tottenham if we lost against Brentford and then won all the other 5, including Liverpool? So this is how crazy this season's been. Look, at the start of the season, we were, okay, we had those 3 wins in a row, and then Nuno and everything else. Look, what Conte's done has been fantastic. If we show heart, and passion and flair and all of these things that they play on that video 10 minutes before the game, if we show all that for the next 6 games and we don't get it, then we don't get it. But at least we fucking, we've left everything out on that pitch, and we've tried our best to do it. And I know we talk about, Wenger was the one about top 4 and it's a trophy, and this it's not a trophy, but it'll almost feel like the roller coaster that we've been on all season. The highs, the low, the highs have been great and the lows have been devastating, right? And to get to the end of the season, and look, you can say Arsenal haven't been great, United haven't been great. Look, everyone's got to play the games over that season, right? Leicester won the Premier League, so we're going to take that away from them because everyone played shit. No, they took the games that they had to do and they won, right? So we need to do the same. We need to stay positive. Look, game by game, let's not get ahead of ourselves. And, a few weeks ago, people were saying top 4's done, Arsenal are done. Man U beat Arsenal and there's all 3 of us on 57 points, right? Yeah. And we just need to then match the results. We just need to worry about us, not worry about Arsenal playing this team and United playing that team and everyone else playing this, that and the other.
They're just distractions. By doing that, you're just distracting on what you're meant to be doing.
Exactly. They need to go out there. There's, 6 games, 90 minutes, break it down into however you want to break it down. Break that down into halves, break that down into 15-minute segments, whatever needs to happen. If we win the more 15 minutes than we do, and I know it sounds simple. If we win more 15 minutes in the game, each game, than we lose in that period, then we know it's going to happen. We need to back the boys. We need to be behind them, behind Conte. Look at what he's done. Like I said, with this bunch of players, and then we can reflect. Then we can, whatever happens at the end, then we can reflect. Then we can talk about transfers. Then we can talk about everything else. But until then, let's just be how we are, be positive, and get a win.
That's we're in control of our own destiny. We are in control of our own destiny.
Barry, can I just say that before the season started, I was saying our aim should be top 4, and I don't give a fuck about a trophy. And people saying that's the defeatist attitude. Look, regardless of whether or not we get top 4, I think where we were a couple of months back and where we are now has been an achievement. And if we end up in what I call the UEFA Cup, other people want to call the Europa Cup, I think that is an absolute reflection on Conte's success. Of course, I want top 4. I want that beautiful new shiny stadium, and the midweek nights to be in the Champions League with the anthem. But
just you, Aaron, just you talking about it, I've got goosebumps. Just being in that stadium in the Champions League nights. Just, I mean, you saw Iggy with his video the other day about getting a ticket to the North London derby and how excited he was. If I, thinking about next season and hearing that music playing, and everything else, that, like you say, for me, I would.
Bring the biscuits with us.
Yeah, we're getting Iggy to go out and sing of the Italian opera. The champions.
My laptop's about to die, guys. So if I do disappear,
Iggy, did you just hold up a vibrator?
I'll deal with it, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Say that again.
So my laptop's about to die. So if I disappear, Rez will have to close down the show. Have you got any shows to promote, Iggy and Aaron? Anything going on?
No, man. I do the morning shows every day, as you guys know. We're either at the training ground or the stadium. Depends on what's closest to me at that time. That will keep going. Tomorrow night we're going to do with the boys of our American brothers, United Spurs of America. We'll be doing a show from 7 or 7:30 onwards tomorrow, and then roll on the weekend action, and then from there. We're not going to be at the game. Obviously, it's an away game, which is sad. So we'll have to wait another week for that bit of fun. So Barry gets to have a weekend off in that aspect, so it doesn't ruin himself like he does as per usual. But I can talk. But yeah, anyway. But yeah. So it'll be weekend action, and we'll be doing videos after that, no doubt. Content will be out pretty much. No pun intended. Content will be out every day, pretty much. But yeah, tomorrow night we'll be doing a stream from 7:30 with the American boys.
Aaron, have you got any books, movies, or songs to promote?
No, I actually, funny you should ask. I finished writing scripts for Dark Side of Japan, but you can usually find me popping up on Collins Talking Ball, or the American Boys, Will Stewart, or Spurs Asian. I operate on odd hours. But Dark Side of Japan, it's a bit wacky, it's a bit weird. I help write scripts. But no, it's something football related. So yeah, usually I just like to chat with people in the comments, and I don't have a channel myself. But pleasure to be on, and thank you both, Johnny Einstein, Rez, Barry, who you still owe me 10% for calling you Barry from EastEnders. I'm never gonna let you live that down, man. I created you. And Jiggy Iggy, my friend. All right,
Take care, brother.
Great to be on live with you. Thank you, lads.
Take care, Aaron. Take care, mate.
I'll let LJ's
Johnny's
battery die. He's got the wheel of death.
Johnny's gone.
He's got the wheel of death.
Just the four of us left. Yeah. So, Brentford. Predictions for top four. Yay or nay? Very quickly.
Oh,
Barry.
Yes.
I said Barry. Yes. You're not Barry.
I don't care.
He's going to say I'll come on streams whenever I fucking like. Green screens, no green screens.
We're making fourth. We're making fourth. We're making third. We're going third, mate. Yeah. We're gonna chase. We're gonna knock Chelsea out of the way.
Hold on, I'm not finished. So Barry fourth.
Yes.
Iggy fourth. No, hold on. Iggy fourth. Yes or no?
Yes, of course.
Yes. Okie doke. So the follow-up question: will that be secured before the North London derby or not, Barry?
It will be secured at the North London derby, and I'm going to go fucking mental. And Iggy, you're going to be with me, and Sophie, we ain't coming home.
You might want to elaborate a little bit, because Rez looks a bit surprised.
I think so, yeah.
What I mean by that comment is that I don't mean really that me and Iggy will me and Iggy will not be disappearing. And I have booked Friday off work. I haven't
because I didn't have a ticket.
I reckon by that
I can go straight to work from there.
I think we should have a house party at someone's house.
Well, I think. Do you know what will be funny? Right, that we beat Arsenal, we get top four, we party at Rez's, and then we all go to Hotspur Way with Iggy in the morning.
Security ambush.
Yeah.
Mate, do you know what? That's why not, man? If it all goes the way we want it to go, it's free fall for all. It really is. I mean, why not? There's nothing that isn't out of bounds. That's all I'm going to say to that, and I'm not going to say any more on stream, because I will not be held responsible for my actions or yours. But you know what? I hadn't anticipated the Brighton game. I honestly thought Brighton, Brentford, and I've said that it would have been done before the North London derby. But as it stands, we got Brentford, Leicester, and then Liverpool, isn't it? So it all depends, Rez, on what the other results, as well as ours. You've got to look at what the others are doing. It could well be, but I think the North London derby could be the one, but which is what bloody Sky Sports wanted, which is why I was hoping that it will be done before that, for that reason, more than actually, not because I'm bothered about playing the North London derby or because whatever happens, whether we've got it or not, we're still going to want to beat them. Yeah, but it's just I wanted to take that satisfaction away from Sky Sport. Yeah. Yes,
absolutely.
And I hope for that reason alone we do it before the North London derby. But if it needs to be the North London derby, so be it.
So be it. Yeah, absolutely. So on that note, thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. Sophie has already left the chat, apparently, allegedly. But someone else is singing. Not Falaraki 1999. Yeah, it's going to be a new Spurs summer of love. So on that note, thank you to everyone in the chat for joining us. Do please very gently, very lovingly, in almost with the passion of a teenage lover for the first time experiencing the joys, touch that like and subscribe button.
Absolutely.
Or if you really have to, smash it, Richard Keys it. We don't mind. And yes, do tune in on Monday at 10 a.m. because Barry Jitt and Alan Jitt will be doing their Tottenham Tea and Toast, or Tea Tottenham and Toast, or Toast Tea and Tottenham, something like that. It's TTT to go with SSS. And we will be back on Thursday at 7 o'clock, hopefully in far better moods than we have been in the last few days. I've been in a good mood. I've been all right. But yes, looking back at a Brentford game in which we got the 3 points, and we will then be back established in the top 4. Any final words from you chaps?
A massive thank you for Sophie's granny and her 6 kids for getting on a dinghy boat all them years ago and spending a whole month on it and bringing the family here, because without them I wouldn't have met Sophie and I wouldn't have been, she wouldn't have got a passport without me. So we thank her.
She'll be back on that fucking boat, wouldn't she, Iggy?
So thank you. So thank you for doing that, because without all of that happening and me marrying her, she wouldn't have had much of a life. So with that passport, she's had a really good education and she's absolutely thriving. and that's how we roll in this house. All jokes aside. No, but listen, thanks for having us on, mate. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Always a pleasure to have you on, mate. And Barry, any final words?
No.
Brilliant. So, from us at Shelfside Spurs Show, thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, do come and join us again. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.